30 seconds as the clock will wind down, and that'll close this one down. Joel Hofer with the save, the shutout, and the Blues pick up the win.
Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and our guy, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, 202. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Alex Ferrario on the call last night as the Blues blanked the Hurricanes 3-0, and we certainly will get into the Blues' victory last night, but congratulations are in order as our guy, Carey Davis, proposed to his wonderful girlfriend this weekend.
Wow.
Congratulations, Carey.
Carey
is now engaged.
It's a really good weekend. I can't hear myself, but really good weekend. Had a great time. It was her birthday. Got
Walk
engaged.
us through it, Carey. Come on, man.
Yeah.
The things that you can't afford.
Yeah. I had been planning this for, I don't know how long, maybe a month and a half, to do something on her birthday. But she didn't want to have like the whole engagement in front of people, so kind of set the room up, took her to a dinner, then we went back up to the room and it was set up really nicely and, proposed. And then I'm trying to rush her out of the room so we can hurry up and get to a surprise party with all of her family.
Why are you rushing her out of the room?
Well, that's the only reason why. We were trying to get to the surprise party that her family was waiting at.
Man.
Literally like 2 spots down from where the hotel was. It was a bar. Had her family there and my friends, and it was a really cool event.
I saw that. You guys walked in, everybody started clapping.
Yeah, because she didn't know. She had no clue.
All right.
So it was a surprise engagement, surprise party. And then some reason they kept asking her, she got the cake, make a wish, make a wish. I'm like, for what? She already got it. What she wanted.
For that part of the evening.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. And she's from Chicago.
She's from Chicago.
So I kind of noticed in some of the videos, you guys got the Bears game on.
Yeah, somehow the Bears were playing in the background, and they found a way to win, man.
Might as well watch a winning team.
What are you talking about? The Steelers had a great game. We're getting prepared for next week, and we'll be ready to roll. I was busy all weekend.
You guys
I just
played
know
in the
I was watching.
Beach Bowl.
Yeah, no, they took care of business. The Beach Bowl. The Beach Bowl. Yeah. The Steelers had a great game, and
Who's gonna tell
I'm
them?
sure Mike T will have these guys ready to roll next week.
boy.
Man. Mike T does nothing but prepare his guys to roll.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And
Whoever his guys
coaches
are.
for
What do you mean?
next. Well, here's the thing, Carey.
Carey must be living under the rock that he
Steelers
he
won.
gave his woman.
Monday, right?
No, thankfully they
lost?
didn't either because we beat the Rizzuto show because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool, man. I mean, next season, Mike T will have these guys.
Well, here's the thing about that, Carey. Mike Tomlin decided to step down. He's no longer the head coach of your Pittsburgh
I got my
Steelers.
Steelers stuff on. What do you mean?
Yeah, he no longer has his on, though.
What?
Yeah.
Mike T's out?
He's out.
No way. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, come on, man. You guys this is an April Fool's joke?
Nope.
In January?
No, we didn't want to tell you because we know you were celebrating all the joy in your life.
So excited. I had a great weekend. I didn't miss that news.
Yeah.
I
CJ
feel a
Stroud
little bit
tried
bad,
to give it
though.
away for you. Yeah.
Oh, he did try.
Hey, congratulations, Carey. We will get Carey's thoughts on the head coach that he won a Super Bowl with and for in a little bit here. But let's get into these Blues. There was a quote by Jim Montgomery in the post-game presser last night that really stood out to me. And I thought to myself, well, this is how Monty has wanted his Blues to play. And after you hear the quote, I want to ask Jamie a very important question as it relates to these Blues and how they play. So here's Jim Montgomery following the 3-0 win over the Hurricanes last night.
I thought tonight was the smartest game we've played as far as playing a simple but very effective game. Making them turn, being really reliant on our forecheck and playing fast. And I thought the little details and habits within our game, block shots, net front box outs were the best they've been all year. Justin Falk had one in the third period that was like, there's a puck laying there and he boxed out so well. It was like 5-6 seconds the puck was laying there. And that's a commitment. That's a one-on-one battle that you win, and that helps you win a lot of games, and it helped our goaltender get a shutout, who was excellent tonight.
So the question I have for you guys is, one, it's not like we haven't heard this before. Jim Montgomery, we've had him, obviously we have him on the program each and every week. I know that I've asked him, you guys have asked him, maybe it's different each time, but I asked him point blank at one point earlier in the season, what will it take for you guys to have repeatable success? And he said something similar to that. Simple. So my question is this a one-game sample, or is this something that is repeatable with this group? Play simple hockey.
Yeah. The way they played, that style is definitely repeatable. There are teams all around the league that do it on a nightly basis. Are they able to do it? I don't know. Because that's the way this season has been. Mm-hmm. You get this version of the Blues on one night, and then the next night you get the version that showed up, and didn't start playing until halfway through the second. And that's the inconsistencies that have been, nobody's hidden from that. Jim Montgomery's talked about it. Doug Armstrong's talked about it. The players have talked about it. But I think again, this is where my brain goes. Once you show me you can do something, I'm going to hold you to that standard. Bottom line. Mm-hmm. And this team this year had not at any point really shown us that they could play like they did at the end of last season. We were holding them to that standard because, it's almost the same roster. But they hadn't shown us yet. Last night was the first glimpse of playing that brand of hockey. They put pucks into good places. The Hurricanes have defensemen that can really skate, really move, that love to be aggressive in the offensive zone, pinch down on pucks, keep plays alive. They weren't able to do it as consistently because the Blues managed the puck very well. They were very good on their forecheck. They blocked a ton of shots. They played the brand of hockey that, at least close to the same brand of hockey that made them successful at the end of last season. So one would hope that that's a real eye-opener for this group. You win that game against one of the best teams in the NHL. They have been a juggernaut. In fact, they've been one of the best teams in the NHL for a couple of years now, at least when it comes to the regular season.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
And you were able to do that. Now, it's 1 out of 1. Can you repeat the behavior? We'll see.
I think, Jamie, you hit it on the head. You talk about it all the time. One thing about being an athlete is when you do something well, you get a pat on the back, and then it's instantly, all right, now do it again.
Yeah,
like it's no time to reflect or
sometimes
be excited.
Do it again, but a little bit better.
Do it. You did it really well. Now let me see you do that again with just a little bit more than you did it last time. And it does nothing but increase every single time. Once you show that you're capable of doing something, that's the expectation. You can't go below that bar anymore, or you shouldn't. Like, really good teams, really good players build on success. So, I think, can they do it again? Yeah, they can. Will they do it again? That's the part that is left to be seen because we don't know.
Do you think the absence of Robert Thomas and Philip Broberg sort of made this team have to simplify their game because they're missing bodies and they have players out there that, aren't as skilled as Broberg and Robert Thomas? Don't get me wrong, there are some highly skilled players out there, but I feel like when you're missing some of your key pieces in the forward group and on the back end, like, you almost have to simplify your game.
But I wonder, it's a good question, but I wonder why they haven't been doing it before, because it's not as if they haven't lost players before.
Get rid of Thomas and Broberg.
Well, you can do that. You package up and maybe you get...
There's a problem.
Yeah.
So they've been holding the group back.
They are 1-0 without him.
When Jordan Kyrou was a healthy scratch earlier in the season against Buffalo, the Blues won in Buffalo with a shutout. And I wonder if they just played a more simplified game in that game as well. I was thoroughly shocked at the outcome of last night's game. Like, we even joked about it at the end of yesterday's show.
I'm going to say this. I don't think those players being out impacted overall. There was an impact. Stylistically, I don't think it impacted, because let's be real for a second. Robert Thomas has struggled offensively this year compared to what we'd like him to be, but defensively he's been very good. He's been very reliable. He's a very good 200-foot player. Philip Broberg is the best defenseman on the roster. Let's just be real here. So your team wasn't better without those guys.
Oh, I'm not saying that they were.
Before we get it on the text line. Before we get on the text line.
Yes.
Your team was not better. Now, sometimes for short periods of time, and I don't know if it works in football, Carey, because you only play, 17 games now at 16 once a week. But a group can dial it in for a game or two, but then you need your best players. Like, you need them for sure. And we need them at the top of their game as well. So there's no doubt thinking, oh, well, Robert Thomas, he's still, even if Robert Thomas isn't your best player right now this season, which he still is statistically, he's one of your best players.
Right.
So it's common sense tells me over the long period of time, you're going to need that guy. But yeah, we've played those games. I played plenty of those games where you've got a bunch of injuries. You got a kid up from the minors that's playing goalie for you, and you literally say it. All right, boys, let's keep it simple tonight. We hit everything that moves. We block every shot. Let's go from there and make smart puck decisions. So you can reel it in for at least that one game. Now, stylistically, hopefully they looked at that and said, hey, that was successful. If we can play that way, and then we add more talent to the lineup, which is Holloway, Thomas, Broberg, then we should be able to play at a higher level, period.
It's Fast on 101 ESPN. Would you consider the Cardinals to be winners this offseason? Depends on the context. That's next on 101 ESPN. Whether you're shopping for yourself or maybe somebody within their family, maybe it's a first-time driver, there's no better dealership to attend when it comes to finding your next new ride than Auto Centers Nissan. A lot of my friends out there, I've been with them for a long time now, and I continue to be with them because I know what they bring to the table. It's not just good deals. Every dealership can say, well, we've got the best deals this month. Do you have a selection? Will the selection be available to me when I want to purchase? Will the selection be available for me to, even if I just want to test drive the vehicle? We know in our household that Auto Centers Nissan says yes to all this because when we purchased a pre-owned Pathfinder a couple of years ago for my wife, Kristen, this is what happened. We went to AutoCentersNissan.com. We wanted to test drive 4 or 5 vehicles. Then we went to the dealership. Those exact vehicles were there. And then when we looked at the pricing and the deals and the fact that they got the 30-day return promise, we knew that Auto Centers Nissan couldn't be beat. Over 1,000 new and used vehicles in one easy location right out in Herculaneum. Right now, if you are looking for great deals, here it is. 000 Advantage Sales Event right now. New Nissan models. 0 down payment, 0% APR for 60 months, and 0 payments until summer. If you're not shopping new, you're shopping used, select used vehicles qualify for 0 down and no payments for 3 months. And when you finance any new or used vehicle at Auto Centers Nissan, you get protected with the Auto Centers Walkaway Finance Protection. So shop online at AutoCentersNissan.com. Take the test drives that you like. Find the next new vehicle that you want from the wide selection that they have there, and tell them that Anthony Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Welcome back, Carey Davis, who was out the last 2 days. Jamie Rivers is here. Angel Marsh is here. I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody being tuned in here on a Wednesday. A lot of different websites, media outlets, they're doing their offseason winners and teams that might need to do more, teams that haven't done enough. ESPN did an article just like this. And if you go through the teams that are winning the offseason, they listed the Baltimore Orioles, the Chicago Cubs, the Toronto Blue Jays, Carey's Los Angeles Dodgers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, believe it or not, the Chicago White Sox, believe it or not.
Wow.
Teams in need of a move, New York Mets, Boston Red Sox, which is interesting. I thought that was kind of weird that they included them only because they've made several moves, but looking at it, when you lose Alex Bregman, obviously you got to make another move, potentially. New York Yankees, Milwaukee Brewers, Cleveland Guardians, and Philadelphia Phillies. And Marsh posed a question of sort of a weird way to look at it. Typically, your winners are teams that are signed or traded, that traded for big names that can kind of put you over the hump. But when it comes to the Cardinals, it seems like they've accomplished everything, if not most everything, outside of trading Brendan Donovan. So are they winners in our eyes? And this is where the context comes in. In relation to Major League Baseball, no, of course not. They're not winners this offseason. They weren't going to be winners. They were disqualified. They're rebuilding. But in the context, like Marsh put it, did you accomplish or are you currently accomplishing what you set out to when you went into this offseason? In my opinion, I love your thoughts as well. In my opinion, 100%. This organization has lacked clear direction outside of we'll just try to keep contending for as long as possible. That's it. We just want to be competitive. Maybe competitive is the right word, not contending. We'll just be competitive. Mm-hmm. That's what we want. And they made moves to try to be competitive. It's very different from we made moves to contend.
Right.
And there's another sports franchise that we'll get to at the bottom of the hour that has done that same thing that now finds itself in transition. When it comes to the Cardinals, there's now a clear directive. We go into this offseason to acquire young, controllable talent with what we currently have on the roster, which we know is not a roster that contends. And so far, they traded Sonny Gray, they traded Wilson Contreras, they just traded Nolan Arenado, and we'll see. We did it yesterday. We signed off. Yeah,
that's the last one?
Carey's looking at me. We all did it as a group. Yeah,
no longer a Cardinal.
So you're off doing your thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Nolan Arenado.
There you go. All right. Perfect. Yeah, so unfortunately, he's a Diamondback. Doesn't work anymore.
Hey, he's not a guy. He's a really
sorry,
good
Arizona Diamondback. Arizona Diamondback. By trading those guys and then eventually, most likely, Brendan Donovan, to me, they are winners in the sense of they've accomplished what they set out to do. Do you guys view it differently?
I think that I agree with you. I think the mindset, the goal coming into this season was to shed salary, not just shed salary, but also open up some spots for other players. You got 14 catchers on the roster, and some of them can't play catcher, and then some of them need to play first base and DH. You cleared up a little bit of that confusion by trading Wilson Contreras. He's no longer on the roster. You don't have to worry about first base or who's going to play there. Sonny Gray, same thing. You got the similar situation. You got a bunch of guys that you're drafting and bringing in from some of these trades, so you move on from him. And then the one I think that was probably the most important is Nolan Arenado. Obviously a Gold Glove, perennial Gold Glover at third base, future Hall of Famer. But you have that's a spot, a premium spot for some of your younger players. Mm-hmm. Nolan Gorman, is he going to be your third baseman? Probably. Let's see what he got. Let's see what you got. We've been waiting. We've been hearing how you've been blocked. Okay, no more excuses. Play every damn day. Sink or swim, right? Or whether if you want to put J.J. Weatherholt there. Whatever the case may be, now you have the third base position open. And I do think that there's going to be one more trade for Brendan Donovan. He's probably going to be the next one that is moved on from, but I think this is the exact thing that the Cardinals needed to do. I think they needed to do it 2 years ago. I think they're 2 years behind schedule, but better late than never that they've gotten to this point. And you're going to give these young players room to grow. Figure it out. Because the only way you know if a player can play is if he actually plays.
What?
That's a crazy theory, Jamie. I hate when people, you don't got no experience.
Yep.
How the hell do I get experience if I don't play, man?
That's my favorite one.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in anything.
Yeah.
I can't hire you.
We like you. You don't have
got
any experience.
Yeah, because people like you won't hire me.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Those are
Sure
good
that went
days.
It's ridiculous.
Hey.
Yeah.
What do you think, Anthony?
I completely agree with you guys. I agree. It makes no sense. There's no common sense there with that. Yeah. I need the experience. Will you give me it? No, you don't have an experience. Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Guess I'll go back to what I'm doing.
So we get a text from Grant Francis
good point,
fan club. He says Cardinals are winners as of now, but that changes if none of these prospects pan out.
Yes, you're right. That's the other side of this.
right.
You're absolutely right.
But they're also not all going to pan out.
Which is why I love, and I'm glad that Grant Francis fan club brought this up. This is why I love the shotgun approach to adding pitching. Because, Jamie, you're right, and the texters are right. Not all these guys are going to pan out.
No.
But if you take the shotgun approach, some of them will. You just acquired a ton of pitching. Like, oh, they have too much pitching. First of all, that doesn't exist. The Cardinals have proven that to you. Second of all, your margin for error becomes greater now. You're not good, but if you have 15, you add 15 young pitchers to the group. Some of them are going to get hurt. Some of them aren't going to work out. Some are actually just going to have to be relievers, so they never develop the third or fourth pitch. But if you get 3 starters out of that group, that could usher in a new window of actual contending if you're the Cardinals.
Well, it's
so
also
I love the approach.
Multiple layers, too. So let's say you get 3 legit starters. Let's say you have 3 other guys that are good pitchers, but they're not going to be starters for you. You can also use that as an asset.
Exactly.
Somebody who sees a pitcher and you're like, the more assets you have, and hopefully you always want to develop to the maximum of your ability as far as the player is concerned, and the organization wants that player to hit that ability, but not everybody reaches that. Doesn't mean they have zero value. They may not have value for your team, but somebody else might want them.
Yeah.
So there's always different levels of what your young players can be, whether it's with the organization. Sometimes your young players are the best thing they can be for somebody else while
Absolutely.
you acquire a player.
Look what the Dodgers have done.
Yeah.
When the Dodgers have made big splash moves, they've given up young pitching. It's the highest currency in baseball. So I love the approach.
I think, in just reading the text line throughout the offseason, I think a majority of the fan base would agree that this is the right move, but I wonder if a lot of fans also feel like the 618 does, and the 618 text in, hip, hip, hooray. We dumped all of our players. Look at how successful we are. I'm glad they did it, but there's nothing positive about it because it shows you how fast laned up the DeWittlisses are.
Yeah, look, there's no counter to that, but, and we'll get to this in the next segment, ironically, but there is a price there's a price to stability. Like, not all stability is good, and the Cardinals have had some stability over the years. It's why a lot of Major League Baseball fan bases outside of St. Louis would call us spoiled. Look at the success you guys have had. Yeah, because they've had that stability. They're at least always competitive. But the price is you're never truly great, and it forces you when you finally come to realization that this thing has got to be torn down. There's going to be pain, but on the other side of it, the price tag could go up now. The ceiling could get higher. This is all part of it. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, but unfortunately, this is just an unnecessary. This is a necessary, not unnecessary. This is a necessary evil. You've got to get worse before you could potentially touch great on the other side.
Got to get worse before you get better, Marshy.
Oh, thank you. You're always just spilling wisdom
As opposed
into
to
my
slightly
soul.
getting worse each and every year.
But then they'll get better.
Some teams don't, though.
I don't think the Cardinals did.
Not yet.
Well,
we didn't say how long they had to get worse.
No, I'm talking about like what the Cardinals have been slightly getting worse. Slightly worse, slightly worse, slightly worse, slightly worse. That's what the Cardinals have been doing.
Now we're going to go up the other side of the mountain now.
No, they broke it. I'm glad. I'm glad they broke it. They had to break it. All I'm saying is it wasn't good what they were doing. Slightly worse, only slightly worse.
You want them to be really worse.
You got to get bad.
This was a playoff team 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
2 seasons plus 1. 3.
I mean, he's right. It's Fast and 101 ESPN. So I keep teasing it. There's another organization that in another sport that reminds me of the Cardinals and what now they're finally having to do to get back to maybe true contention. Carey won't like it. That's next on 101 ESPN. Man, I can't wait for the NFL Divisional Round to start. We got 4 games this weekend, and I know I'm going to be playing on Underdog. You should too. Football playoffs, full swing. Underdog, best place to get in on the action. You can make entries right here in Missouri, and you can win big-time cash if, of course, you get those entries right. I'm looking at a couple of different plays this weekend. I like Josh Allen to go higher than 36.5 rushing yards against the Broncos. He has averaged, I should say, just over 50 rushing yards per game in the 14 postseason games that he's played in. I know he's a little banged up, but he'll be fine. He'll be running. So I like Josh Allen higher than 36.5 rushing yards at Underdog. I also like Kenneth Walker higher than 1.5 receptions. I did the research on this. Kenneth Walker has at least 2 receptions in every single game that he's played against the San Francisco 49ers in his career. He's faced them 7 times. He's had at least 2 receptions in each game. So Kenneth Walker higher than 1.5 receptions. Those are a couple of my plays. If you like him, add him to your card. If maybe you want to fade him, hey, you can do that too. You go lower on the certain players too. If you get them right, you get them up to 5,000 times your cash, but you do have to get signed up. Sign up right now at Underdog. So download that app today or go to the website. And when you do, if you're a first-time user, punch in my promo code. It's just my first name, Anthony. Then you're going to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, use that promo code Anthony when you download the app or sign up at the website. It's Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details concerned with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.nspgambling.org.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take down the Carolina Hurricanes last night. Final score 3-0. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning, a red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning who have won 11 straight. That will be on Friday, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll also talk with Joe Vitale at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. But is there a cost to stability? We'll discuss that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Before we went on air yesterday, I had texted the group after I saw the breaking news that Mike Tomlin had stepped down. I said, Mike Tomlin no longer with the Steelers. And Carey, you had texted the group right back, and you said it's a sad day for Steeler Nation.
Yeah.
Your former head coach, the man that led you guys to a Super Bowl. I know you have a great affection for Mike T. So before we dive into kind of the big picture of this, just your thoughts on Mike Tomlin stepping down in Pittsburgh, and were you shocked by that?
Very shocked. And I figured if it were to happen, it wouldn't be a situation where he was fired. He's done too much for that organization and for the city of Pittsburgh, and really been, one of the catalysts to kind of help them continue to have the success that they've had. And I know people have been upset, you haven't won a playoff game. It's kind of hard to win when you don't have that quarterback position completely right. So, it was very shocking to see the news. I said it's a sad day, man. Sad day in Pittsburgh, sad day in football, because Mike T is a leader of men. He does everything the right way. He holds you accountable. You are not going to duck and dodge the responsibilities of being a great football player and doing your job week after week and day after day in practice. So, that's the one thing that I respected most about him, is his openness, his honesty, and just getting the most out of his players. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, just unable to get over that hump and get back to a Super Bowl or back to an AFC Championship game. But Mike T is going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. He's like I said, a very intelligent man, a leader of men, and will soon have a job somewhere doing something that he wants to do, whether it's coaching football or TV or media, whatever that is.
Just a question, because I'm reading through a bunch of things the last couple of days, yesterday evening and today in particular, and there's been a lot of scrutinizing of the roster construction in the last 10 years of Mike Tomlin. Something to the effect, I read it just earlier, that only one player got a second contract that was drafted in like the first few rounds. Or like do you think someone like Mike Tomlin is better just as a head coach? Like, have a really good, like in Detroit. In Detroit, they've got the GM. Clearly, he's helping build the roster with the advice, or at least certain the input from Dan Campbell. But you can tell clearly he's the GM.
Right.
Do you think Mike Tomlin's better in a situation where there's the GM and then he just gets to coach the team that he has a little bit of impact on?
Well, I think he's in that situation. I mean, Kevin Colbert was the GM, and now Omar Khan,
the roster
because he's the head coach and everything. Okay. He's the face that you'll see. Like you, if I showed you a picture, if I showed you 10 people and I said pick out Omar Khan, you probably wouldn't be able to pick him out.
Is that Shad's brother?
No, it's not. No, maybe. But you probably wouldn't be able to. Same thing with Kevin Colbert. You probably wouldn't be able to pick those gentlemen out of a lineup, but you can pick Mike Tomlin out. So
it's
I think
different
the blame
in football then, because like in hockey,
I'm sure
you look at the head coach, but Doug Armstrong's the guy like building the roster.
I'm sure Mike T had some input in terms of but it's not solely his decision.
Yeah,
like it's a group effort, and everybody is culpable. If you have a group of first-round draft picks or draft picks in general that don't get to that second contract with you, that probably speaks volumes of either you didn't want to keep that guy or that person didn't want to stay. It's probably that you didn't want to keep him. But either way, it does say something about it. But it's not all on Mike Tomlin in terms of this is your fault solely.
I don't think just meant to coach.
I don't think Mike Tomlin, and this is no knock against anyone, but I don't think Mike Tomlin then Doug Hodges and said, hey, you're going to be like, sometimes things happen that are out of your control. They had a quarterback in Dwayne Haskins that passed away, right?
Yeah.
And so, you deal with some of those things and then you draft a Kenny Pickett and that doesn't work out. So it's not always, it's not always the coach's fault. It's not. Sometimes it's everybody involved in making those decisions, and it just didn't work out for him.
Do you think he's a better coach just to be a coach?
I think Mike
if you were a GM and you assembled a roster,
I would have Mike Tomlin coaching any team.
Okay.
Just because of his leadership qualities.
Yeah.
Like when I say he is, and I feel like a connection because we were his first group. Like he got a head coaching job and we were on the roster and we were part of that first group of kind of the maturation of Mike Tomlin. And we had to go through the things we went through in training camp that these men don't have to do now. He is softened up because of the CBA, but really it was just him learning. And then he's there in 07 and then in 08 we win the Super Bowl, right? So it's for me, it's really close to home because I was there when he first got the job and when he came in and nobody really knew who he was. And then you're learning about him. And then he's like, calling people out in film. And then, it just was a growing process for all of us together. So I thought it was really cool. And it has been really cool to watch him year after year. And it's going to be different not seeing him on the sidelines in Pittsburgh. It's going to be different going back to Pittsburgh and not seeing him and not giving him dap and giving him a hug and saying, man, I'm good to see you. Like, it's just going to be a different thing that takes place now because, it's been something that's been there for almost 2 decades.
How big will that void be now in Pittsburgh? Because, they've had 3 head coaches in the history of the franchise.
Well, in 60 years. Yeah.
60 years.
67 years, I believe, something like that.
6-7. But those 3 individuals, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin, you want to talk about, staples, personality, icons of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tomlin, now the newest icon to walk away from it. The next guy coming in, how hard is that going?
I think it's a lot. I think it was a lot for Mike T because we're replacing Bill Cowher, who stepped away and had won a Super Bowl the year prior. He won the Super Bowl in 05. And then 06 was his last season, and then Mike T comes in 07, and I'm sure Bill Cowher had the same issues replacing Chuck Noll. It's a lot.
Uh-huh.
And now you're 3 guys in 60-plus years. Yeah, I think the next head coach is going to have a lot of pressure on him as well because the expectation is, we don't fire coaches after 2 or 3 years. You're in here, you're in this for the long haul, and you better win.
So who do you think the next guy is? Because
if
the Rooney family has been so good at picking staples of the organization, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, if they've been so good at that, who's the next guy?
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Does he exist yet?
I don't know what it was when Bill Cowher was hired. I don't know what the thought process was in terms of. But when Mike T was hired, it was unexpected, in my opinion. I don't think anyone expected Mike Tomlin to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a defensive coordinator for 1 year in Minnesota. He had been a defensive backs coach for a couple of years in Tampa prior to going to Minnesota as the DC. And he was one and done in Minnesota and came to be our head coach. So it was shocking. It was kind of unexpected. It was great. It was a great job by the Rooneys of picking, a head coach that other people may not have known much about, but they felt confident during his interview process and what he was able to do. But I don't know where or who the next head coach is. I don't know what background he comes from. I don't know where is he a defensive guy? Is he an offensive guy? Is he a special teams coach? I have no clue. I don't think it'll be a guy like John Harbaugh. I don't think it'll be a Kevin Stefanski or one of these coaches that have already been fired.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think it might be someone that, that is going to be their first time being a head coach, and they're going to learn on the job. They're going to fail, but hopefully have some success as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I could see.
Could you see? Sorry. I'm just thinking out loud. Go ahead.
I could say, it's funny because there was a report that the Steelers have just the first interview or the first known interview was, I think, the Rams OC or passing game coordinator or something. I'm like, what? Yeah. But that fits what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Mike McCarthy. It's not going to be Kevin Stefanski. It's not going to be John Harbaugh. It's not going to be Mike McDaniel. It is going to be somebody that is a first-time head coach.
A younger man.
That we all think, why would he? What? Yeah. For the Steelers? Yep. But you're right. That is their identity. Bill Cowher, I think, was a relative unknown when they brought him to Pittsburgh.
What would you think? And I know this guy has said publicly, not going to the NFL, but coming off the heels of Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll, the Rooney family, the Steelers, the way they've been run for so long, what about a guy like Marcus Freeman?
That is a name that has been floated around.
I look at this guy and I listen to him talk to his team. He's a culture builder.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers have been nothing but culture for the last 70 years. Like, it's...
Yeah, I mean, that's a name that has been floated around. I would be very intrigued to see if Marcus Freeman would take that leap and go. I think going from college to the NFL is different.
Of course.
Like Bill Cowher, I'm looking at it now. He was a defensive coordinator for the Chiefs for a couple of years before he got the head coaching job in Pittsburgh. And then I talked to you about Mike Tomlin, defensive coordinator for 1 year with the Vikings. Like, I think it's easier to go from a coordinator position in the NFL to being a head coach in the NFL than it is from being a college head coach. And now, granted, it's different now because you're essentially building a roster with NIL and you got to allocate funds and you got to know, basically a salary cap of who's getting what. So maybe the transition isn't as difficult as it would be, 15, 20 years ago. But I just think the room is different in the NFL than it is in college.
It is, but the way I look at this is when I think of Marcus Freeman, I don't think of Nick Saban. I don't think of Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was those guys had a hard time, extremely hard time going from college to pro because they were ruling with an iron fist. I don't see that from Marcus Freeman, although he does have control of his room.
Right.
He's way more in touch with the younger athlete and like what they're thinking, and I don't think he would find it as difficult to go into that room.
It might not be. It would be intriguing to see.
Like, I think people
which
like
direction.
Curt Cignetti. I'm like, I think he would have a hard time. I think he's like Nick Saban. He's used to ruling the kingdom, and he won't do that at the pro level.
I do believe it's going to be a younger, and like when I say younger, 35 to 38 years old, not 45 or 50, not someone as established. So I do agree that it's going to be a younger coach, that has kind of the vibes of what the team can do, and they all can grow together and learn together. But it's going to be, this offseason just got a little bit more interesting with the opening in Pittsburgh. You got opening in Baltimore. It's a lot of, really quality jobs that are available and some really quality players that are out there for some coaches that want to coach up. So it's going to be fun to see how it all plays out.
So I do think there's a correlation here between the Steelers and the Cardinals, and we'll get into that a little bit later. We wanted to pick CD's brain, though, since obviously he was so connected in Pittsburgh and the thoughts. No, it's all good, because I wanted to know your thoughts on that as well. By the way, one prediction: Mike Tomlin, TV for 1 year, Washington next year when Dan Quinn gets canned. That's my prediction with Mike T.
It's not a bad prediction.
It's not bad.
You'd have Jaden Daniels.
He's from
that area,
the DMV area.
That would be my prediction. All right,
Can I toss one in?
Sure.
I hope this does not happen.
Uh-oh.
But if there is another down year by my Minnesota Vikings, perhaps Mike Tomlin goes back to a team that he is familiar with.
Your guy KOC brought them out of nowhere this year to be back at least respectable. He's going to have to really fail.
That's his prediction.
He's hoping.
That's a prediction.
All right, it's Fast on 101 ESPN. Speaking of Marsh, we have what's trending next.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the Divisional Round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. The Bills going into Denver, the 6 versus the 1 should be a great matchup. Can Josh Allen do it again on the road? Is he able to get over in touchdown scored? Maybe he goes over in passing yards. Maybe you want to take the Bills on the money line. You decide and then apply your profit boost and go for even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and present in Missouri. opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, of course, the Blues defeated the Carolina Hurricanes last night. We have some people on the text line, the Air Comfort Service text line, who believe there is a reason why. Mahomes' long body says, Hall of Fame night inspired the boys, and the 636 says, mark the Hall of Fame night as the turning point for your St. Louis Blues. After watching last night's game, if you could not listen to it here on 101 ESPN, perhaps you caught it on ESPN Plus. There were some interviews. Barrett Jackman, Alexander Steen. Of course, you had TJ Oshie, who was between the benches on the call. Do you believe that last night's game had any correlation to what transpired the night before and all of those players having an opportunity to listen to all the stories from all the great St. Louis Blues?
Yeah, I obviously don't know for sure if there's a direct connection to it, but I have been that young player before in a room full of former players. I talked about it yesterday. Bobby Plager grabbing a coffee in the morning, coming and sitting beside me at the practice facility and just talking hockey and then telling me about the Blues and telling me about the city. And it's like, you'd be a fool not to have it impact you in some way. And a lot of these young players, we just take it for granted that they know, I didn't know about the Blues. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Now, we didn't have the internet, but when I flew into St. Louis in 1993, it was the flood of 93.
Oh, man, I remember that.
So I'm from Canada. I played way up north in Canada. I'm flying in, and I go, I had no idea St. Louis was an island. I thought it was in the middle of the country. Like, what are we doing here? Like, because there was water all around. When I was flying in with the plane.
So much water.
So much water. And then when we landed, I found out, this is not supposed to be like this, a flood and all these things. But I didn't know much about St. Louis, let alone the history of the Blues. Now, again, the internet is a powerful tool, but that doesn't mean kids are looking up the St. Louis Blues. So to get here and to be at the Hall of Fame dinner and talk with alumni guys and hear the stories and the stuff that guys went through and talking about the city, it can spark you. And Jim Montgomery last night, obviously the media are going to ask him about it too, if he noticed anything. Monty, former Blues player himself, he knows how powerful the alumni are and how great the city is. Here's what he had to say about it all.
About 15 of our players were in attendance last night. And when you're hearing, the Hall of Famers that are getting inducted, Barrett Jackman and Steiner did a great job. And then, Chaser with everything he's done for the Blue Note and the stories about Bobby Plager by Brett Hull, Al McInnes, Pronger, Kachuk, Gary Unger, and Red Berenson. There was a lot of history there last night. And I think it really soaked in about how special it is to play for this city and our fans. And I thought that our players played with that passion and intensity of a lot of the great players and teams that have played here before wearing the Blue Note.
Well, first of all, thank you, Monty, for recognizing that. But second of all, I can tell you the biggest topic of conversation the other night was that how much the city of St. Louis appreciates a team that just plays hard. You don't have to be the greatest, but we talked about it yesterday. So I'm kind of being redundant here right now, but they respect athletes that know that their job is to play as hard as they possibly can. Compete. Are you going to win every game? Nope. Are you going to play great every game? Nope. You're not always going to play great. Doesn't matter. Play hard. Let me know that when I came to the field, the rink, the stadium, whatever it is, I look out there and I know your ice bags after the game. I don't care. Is that guy there? Yeah, he gets my $5 or my ticket. $5.
Yeah, right. Back in the day.
Back in the day. So, yeah, I think it can have an impact on a young group of players. I really do. Now, what they do with it from here, who knows? But they certainly played an inspired game last night. We talked about it in the first segment today. They played a game that resembled what they were doing at the end of last season. Now, can they do it again? Because it's not alumni night. It's not Blues Hall of Fame night for their next home game. Can they do it again? And I hope so, because they got a really good team coming in here to play.
Winners of 11 in a row.
What? They're due for a loss.
You got to stop some point.
Yep. By the way, let's not forget, your St. Louis Blues undefeated at home in 2026.
And 3-1 overall.
No.
They lost 3 in a row.
That's my campaign. Let me run it, okay?
Yeah, last week didn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on the road. It's like it never happened.
Well, it's like never
Exactly.
happened.
Who was watching?
A lot of people probably. Yeah.
A little bit of
Unfortunately, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Yesterday, Chaim Bloom was asked in his press conference about the third base options for the Cardinals. So who does have the inside track to start at third base for the Cardinals this upcoming season? Does it make any sense to go outside the organization if it's for a one-year deal? We'll dive into it all next on 101 ESPN.
All right, St. Louis, let me let you in on a few things here. One, the market is going to get a little crazy if you're selling your home. We have heard that rates might go down, which means that's inspiration for people to get out there and buy a home. Why not have it be yours? Had lunch today with my great friend Gloria Liu, and that's exactly what she was saying. She's saying, get ready for a big spring, and she wants to help out all of you. So please know that Gloria Liu, with your home sold guaranteed realty, she's going to price your home accordingly to get you the most money that you possibly can, but to sell your home quickly. We had Lance down the hall here. He sold his house with Gloria Liu. Took him 2 days to sell that home. That's the results you want. That's the results you're going to get when you call Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. So please don't wait any longer. Give her a call. She's awesome at what she does. Tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. She loves hearing that. And that number to sell your home quickly is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
.302, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. With Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Chaim Bloom addressed the media yesterday following the trade of Nolan Arenado to the Arizona Diamondbacks. One of the things, once the Arenado discussion started to evolve with the media, one of the things that Chaim Bloom was asked was about third base for this upcoming season. Here's what Bloom had to say about the options or potential options.
We do have a lot of players on this club and in this organization who can help us. Outside of players who have already played prominent and starting roles, obviously Mason and Brendan, but we've been talking for a long time now about wanting to get opportunity for consistent opportunity for guys like Gorman. Didn't have the year last year that we were hoping. Obviously, there were times when the opportunity was inconsistent, but there were also some of that's also on him, obviously, and he knows that. This potentially opens up more opportunity for him, for a young player like a Sajasi, who has shown flashes of being able to contribute to a winning team this may potentially open up some more lanes for him. And then obviously that's without touching on JJ and other players in the organization that can help us both short term and long term. So we do feel like we have really good internal options there and really interesting internal options. And that is also part of why this made sense to us outside of, like I said, the particulars with Nolan.
All right, so let's do this first. Let's eliminate the outside options, because I don't think, and I would imagine you guys agree, I don't think there's any sort of common sense that it gets applied to, like, hey, bring in an outside option, right? Mm-hmm. But here are some of the outside options: Yohan Moncada, Eugenio Suarez, Iser Kiner Falefa, Ramon Urias, Jose Iglesias, Miguel Andujar, Chris Taylor, and Gio Urshela. I don't think even bringing somebody in on a one-year deal makes sense from the outside. But I did want to mention that so we don't just jump right into the internal options. So, as Bloom mentioned, there are really 3 logical fits at third base next year: J.J. Weatherholt, Nolan Gorman, Thomas Saggese. Those are the 3 logical options at third base. If J.J. Weatherholt, and I don't think that he's going to have any sort of issues with making the team. I know there's that maybe the clock manipulation comes into effect, but I do think that J.J. Weatherholt will be a St. Louis Cardinal for the majority of next season. I think they'll keep him up the middle. I think they'll want to develop, and I don't have any inside information here. I'm just looking at it from the outside in. I think they'll want to keep J.J. Weatherholt and Mason Wynn up the middle. Dave Duncan's philosophy was always your strength is up the middle. Catcher, shortstop, second base, center field. That's your strength. And I think they'll keep Weatherholt at second, or put him there, and try to develop some chemistry for Wynn and Weatherholt. Because if you have those 2 spots, as well as center field, and right now that's Victor Scott, if you have those 3 spots then settled, you feel pretty good about things. At third base, I could see them platooning Gorman and Saggese.
I
depending on the matchup.
Often forget about Thomas Saggese. Not that he's forgettable, but I just, and he showed, some spurts of him playing really well. I would prefer it be Nolan Gorman or Saggese, whichever one of those are playing well and having success, roll with that guy. I agree with you in terms of J.J. Weatherholt. If he came up as a second baseman, I love position flexibility. Like, I love to be able to move players to multiple spots and say, the more you can do. But damn it, if you can be a Gold Glove second baseman, let's play you there. Right? I think you're better suited when you know what your job is every single day. Like, we gave so much credit to Brendan. He got 5 gloves. That's wonderful. But they can't put him in one spot. Like, there are very few really talented athletes that can play multiple positions, like a Mookie Betts, Jamie. That guy's special. He's a future Hall of Famer.
He's a hell of a utility player,
He
Carey.
can do it all and be a Gold Glover in each one of those positions he plays. Not a problem. That's very rare. Like, generally speaking, you're going to be, lower. Your abilities, takes a step back in some areas rather than others. So I would rather see J.J. Weatherholt, as you said, up the middle, have a strong defense up the middle and do it that way. And then Gorman, it's time. Right? And Chaim Bloom mentioned that. Some of that was his own doing. It's your turn. If you ain't going to do it now, you're probably never going to do it. And I think that's a lot of pressure, but it's also a privilege. Like, you're in the majors. You have an opportunity to be the starting third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. What more do you want? Either you're going to do it or you're not, and I think this is the opportunity for him to show that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think J.J. Weatherholt is your second baseman. He's been a shortstop predominantly. He's not going to play there. I mean, Mason wins a Gold Glove shortstop.
Yeah, you got your shortstop.
You got your shortstop. They experimented at the end of last season a couple games with him at third base. I don't know exactly how that went, but he has played second base as well. That's your future, by the way. Mason Wynn and J.J. Weatherholt, by all accounts, offensively and defensively, they're the guys. And you're hoping that Victor Scott can improve his offense, because defensively he also will be a Gold Glove type player. So there's the middle of your field taken care of. Now, catcher position still up in the air for sure. Gorman was drafted as a third baseman. Let's see what he can do. See how he does at third base. He's been whining. Everybody's been whining. Not him per se, but because he's had to try and be a second baseman because of Nolan Arenado. Let's see what you are as a third baseman. And we've seen Cignetti play third. He plays a good third base.
Yeah, he does.
So I think that's your answer. You nailed it right away with Weatherholt at second, Wynn at shortstop, and a platoon of Gorman and Cignetti at third. And it also gives you different styles of hitters, too, that are playing third base.
Right. And, of course, one lefty, one righty, which is why I think this will be a platoon. That's my guess.
Well, one, it needs to work because, I look at the free agents that will be available in the coming years at third base, and none of them really get me excited other than like Jose Ramirez in 2029. But at that point, one, you're not going to pay that much money. Two, he'll probably be too old for you to even consider doing that. So you need this to work up until a point where maybe then one of your younger players in your system can then take over third base. But right now, if it's Nolan Gorman in his position, he needs to take advantage of the opportunity because we have seen this offseason, Chaim Bloom, one, these are not his guys. And two, if it ain't working, he's going to move you. He's not like Mo, where I don't know. I feel like we got something here. Maybe we don't. I'm kind of reluctant to move on from some of our players because there's potential there, and I don't want him to end up being another guy that we sent away who had success. I don't think Chaim Bloom operates that way. Mm-hmm. So this is his shot. If he doesn't produce, Chaim Bloom's going to find somebody else to do so.
Sure. I want to address some of the questions coming in the snake pit. Why not for me? And the guy in AAA had 913 OPS in 2025 and 924 OPS in 2024. Then in the majors last year, he had a 793 OPS.
Jose Fermin?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think that the Cardinals view him
the Ferminator?
As a full-time player. So I just
Jose, is that you? He's a bench guy probably. I don't even know if he is on a team like this. That sounds terrible, but I feel like you're going to have more than one Jose Fermin available to you.
You're not wrong. The other thing, the Bud Price has forgotten that Jordan Walker played the majority of his minor league career at third base. No, did not forget. DLW 1904 says Walker was drafted as a third baseman. I understand that. The Cardinals don't view him as a third baseman.
I don't know if he's ever played an inning, even at Double-A.
Oh, he's played third base in the minors.
Has he?
Yes. Yeah.
In Memphis.
He didn't spend a lot of time in Memphis, but when it comes to the majority of the lower levels, he was a third baseman. The Cardinals don't view him as a third baseman.
Do we know that for sure?
Yes. They switched him.
Do we?
They always thought, even though he was drafted as a quote-unquote third baseman, they never viewed him as a third baseman.
Because they had Arenado.
Listen, they moved him to the outfield. They always felt like he was going to be a corner outfielder.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just sharing what I know.
I'm not saying that you're right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. He's saying you're wrong, Anthony.
No, I'm not. If I was, I'd tell him. Trust me. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying, are we sure that they won't sprinkle him in at third base in spring training and see?
I mean, that would be the time to do so. But well, then who's playing the outfield?
Well, you got plenty of people who play the outfield. I mean, Herrera's going to be at first base. You got Alec Burleson now in right field.
Oh, boy.
By the way, you have Jesus Baez.
Oh, man.
Jesus Baez.
Did that stress you out?
Yes.
Number 10 right now for the Cardinals prospects. His ETA, he's in high A, ETA 2027. So maybe that's another player that could be looked at as a future third baseman, perhaps.
All right.
So, I don't know.
Bud Price came back and said, I saw him in Springfield. Let's just say that it's good that Mason Wynn was playing on his left side. DLW 1904 comes back. Arenado was blocking Walker. DLW, I'm sharing what the Cardinals' viewpoint is on it. If you view him as a third baseman, I think that's fantastic. I'm just telling you what the Cardinals view him as. So,
Anthony, here's one thing that I need you to do.
Okay.
If you're going to make these decisions for the Cardinals, you can't take it personally. Okay?
Fair. Yeah. I thought I was doing a good job of not taking anything personally, just sharing what I know. But
No, you're doing fine. It's just when I saw your face starting to turn red.
Nah, it's all good. No red.
You saw that too, Carey?
I mean, I saw
he started to grab objects, so he's going to throw them.
All good.
I've seen him do that in the studio before.
Yeah.
through
That
a
wasn't
cell
me.
phone one time.
That wasn't me.
I heard that story.
That was somebody
That wasn't
else.
Anthony.
What? That was
Nope, that
he sat
wasn't
in
me.
that spot.
It was another guy that sat in that
Yeah,
spot.
somebody that sat in that spot, but it wasn't Anthony.
He's listening right now. I'm sure he's chuckling.
Anthony, I'm sorry. It wasn't you.
I appreciate that.
I
Thank
can't
you.
remember who it might have been, though.
Yeah. Guardian comes back. Walker had 18 errors in 70 games at third base in 2022, so not good.
Not terrible.
Well, not great. It's Fast on 101 ESPN. Underlying storylines. What's one underlying storyline for each of the NFL divisional rounds from us? It's next on 101 ESPN. What's an underlying storyline for each of the NFL divisional matchups? So we go one by one here. Start off with the first game, 3:30 Central Time kickoff between the Bills and the Broncos. If there was one underlying storyline to this game that you would point out, what would that be? Could be on Denver's side, could be on Buffalo's side. For me, it would be the Broncos' ability to run the ball and whether or not Sean Payton would stick with the run. Because it is, anytime you play Buffalo this season, you do have an advantage in the ground game.
Yeah.
But Sean Payton, typically, he likes to throw that. He likes to use the run to kind of set things up. But really, he wants to be explosive in the passing game. So will he be patient enough to say, hey, this is not a Bo Nix game. This is not a passing game. This is going to be an R.J. Harvey game. R.J. Harvey game. I just don't see that happening. So I think that's kind of an underlying storyline for this one.
So I think that Sean Payton would be a fool not to run this ball. Like, I'm talking really run the football. Do you really want to put the power of the game in Bo Nix's hands against one of the best secondaries? The Bills have a great secondary as far as pass defense is concerned. They suck at blocking the rush.
It's one of the reasons why I have a good secondary. They don't face a lot.
So why would you have Bo Nix, who's completely unproven, who can be erratic at times, why would you have him passing into that when you can run the ball? Now, your offensive line and your running game better be on task too.
Right.
But that would be my game plan for sure if I'm Sean Payton is we're going to run the football. And even when it fails, we're going to keep running the football. For the first half, the mission is going to be running the football. Let's see where we are at halftime if they need to make adjustments, but that would be my strategy.
So, CD, we're talking about underlying storylines for all the divisional games. So Broncos and Bills up first. That's the first kickoff. And I had mentioned it'll be interesting to see whether or not Sean Payton sticks with the running game with R.J. Harvey because that's where the matchup is.
Right.
But I don't know if he will. He likes to put the ball in the air a lot.
Well, he likes to get cute. He does.
Because offensive coordinators and offensive-minded head coaches have trouble taking what the defense gives them. That's why Curt Cignetti is a wonderful human being in terms of football coaching. He whatever you're going to allow, we'll do it. I don't care if it takes us 12 plays to score. Offensive coordinators' mentality is, damn, this is boring. Go score. Pick up big chunks. What are we doing? Why are we 5 yards, first down? So what? They want to score quickly. It's just the nature of the beast. It's not. We, and I'm speaking from personal experience, we can't go 15 plays. Why would I want to do that? That's boring as hell. I want to score now. So I think that Sean Payton falls into that mode. And in order to, I think the way you beat this Buffalo team is by running at them, eating up the clock. You know what else it does? It keeps one of the best players in the NFL sitting on his butt watching football and not on the field beating you. So I think that that's the best way to go about it. But this Buffalo team, in my opinion, is kind of as crazy as it sounds. Like it almost mirrors the 2005 Pittsburgh team. That team won the Super Bowl, but they had to go on the road for each one of their playoff games. They had to win 3 games on the road, and they were able to do so, and then they won the Super Bowl. And so this Buffalo team is going to have to go on the road throughout the entire playoffs if they continue to win. And even if whoever wins between the Patriots and the Texans, they still will be on the road.
Yeah.
So if they beat the Broncos this weekend, this team, as much as we've talked, they're set up to kind of make their, just matriculating through the playoffs and make it to a Super Bowl. But if you're the Broncos and you're Sean Payton, and you know this team cannot, will not, won't, shall not stop the run. I don't know why you would get away from that. Run, play action pass, roll out, boot, run. And then take a shot with a play action pass with one of your best receivers, Cortland Sutton, downfield. He's going to make the play. That, to me, would be the recipe for success, but we'll see if Sean Payton has the patience to do that, which, again, most of us don't. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Do you have an underlying storyline in this game, or you want to move on?
That's it. Yeah, no, that would be it for me. Run the ball and win if you're the Broncos. If you can.
49 should be able to. 49ers Seahawks. Here's my underlying storyline. George Kittle being hurt certainly impacts the passing game. But I think the bigger problem, he's outstanding in the run from a run blocking standpoint. Christian McCaffrey was having an okay start to the season from a ground game. And then George Kittle got healthy, and it was the Sunday night, and I remember this because they're playing the Falcons. It was a Sunday night game against the Falcons. George Kittle came back, and McCaffrey went off, and they just highlighted how much George Kittle, he didn't have a catch in the game, but he was dominant from a run blocking standpoint. That, I think, is a bigger loss than him being a receiver, which is certainly a loss in and of itself. So that, I think, is crucial when it comes to the 49ers and Seahawks.
For me, it's can Robert Saleh work magic again with an absolutely decimated defense. I mean, Sam Darnold has never won a playoff game. He's had a very good season for the Seahawks. He had a really good season last year until the last 2 games of the season where it kind of blew up on him. But can Robert Saleh's defense just nullify and mess with Sam Darnold? Because I think Brock Purdy, it's always going to come down to the quarterbacks. I think Brock Purdy is certainly more reliable than Sam Darnold. He's proven it. Again, Marshy said yes, the only playoff game Brock Purdy's ever lost was the Super Bowl. It's not too bad. But again, can the 49ers defense fool the world and play good again against the Seahawks?
For me, the storyline is what receiver is going to step up for the 49ers. You watch that game, your running backs had 10 catches between the two of them, Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk. They had 10 catches. Your receivers had 6.
Yeah.
Like which and I know they're
in the Seattle game.
No, in the Philadelphia game last week.
Okay, because Robinson was explosive. He caught a couple of big plays.
Correct, but what other receiver? Like you got one receiver that is stepping up and making. You're throwing the ball to Kyle Juszczyk. That's a check down. He's not running. That's a flat route. Maybe what we call a free release flat. Maybe an angle route, but it's usually a check down, but under 5 yards, where he's going to make something happen. And same thing with Christian McCaffrey. Sometimes he gets out in the slot and does some things, but he hadn't been doing it as much since Debo has left. So for me, what receiver is going to step up and have a day for the 49ers? Because you're decimated with injuries. Your tight ends, everybody is banged up. Juwan Jennings had 1 catch last week for 45 yards. You have to have some guy, Ricky Pearsall, dealing with injuries, banged up. Like, which receiver is going to step up and make big plays for this team? They have beaten the Seattle Seahawks. They beat them in Game 1, and they lost to them in Game 17. And so you split the series. You beat them in Seattle, first game of the year. So can you go back out there and handle your business? Again, you're decimated with injuries, and they just keep getting banged up week after week after week. But can you go out there and get a win, to continue your playoff run as well?
To Carey's point, Seattle, one of, if not the best rushing defense in the entire league. The last time these two teams played, that final week, Christian McCaffrey only had 23 yards on the ground. My underlying storyline for this game is can San Francisco break the Seattle rushing attack, or the rush defense? Because if they don't, I see a very similar situation happening, what happened in that final game of the week. Christian McCaffrey, one of the most elite running backs in the NFL, and he's only running for 23 yards. Man, that's got to be better. If you're going to win on the road in Seattle, that has to be better. And it's going to be a tough matchup for San Francisco against that defense, especially on the ground.
All right, so the Texans and the Patriots, I don't think that this is necessarily underlying, but Nico Collins, he's questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. You found your running game against Pittsburgh, sorry, Carey, on Monday night. Woody Marks rushed for over 100 yards. I was shocked by that. Can he duplicate that? Because he hasn't. He is not strung together big games. But they're gonna need that running elements against New England if they're gonna pull off the upset.
Is Daniil Hunter playing?
Yeah.
Will Anderson?
Yeah.
Stingley?
Yes.
Lassiter?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good. Like I'll find a way.
Let's win that thing 6-3. Huh?
Whatever.
Let's get out.
Literally. Are those guys
survive
playing?
in advance?
Man, whatever. Give me if those guys are playing. I watched Aaron Rodgers get sacked without even getting sacked, man. Like he fell down in the pocket because there was nowhere to go. A Texan didn't touch him. He was like, "Oh crap, it's too many bodies. They all got black shirts. Okay, I'm down." Yeah. Like that Texans defense is elite. And there was I was watching a video of they had D'Amico Ryans on the sideline, and he was saying, wear him out. Like that seems to be the philosophy of the Texans. It's not going to be pretty. 30 points is a hell of a day for the Houston Texans. We don't expect it. Like, it was bad that first couple. The Steelers were, I'm like, okay, here we go. I thought so. No, DK, you only had 2 catches, first 2 catches drive, whatever. But the Texans, defensively, are elite. And I love what Drake May has done. So my storyline is if Will Anderson is healthy, Danielle Hunter is healthy, the secondary is healthy, yeah, give me the Texans.
I'm not convinced, man. I'm not, especially after hearing some of the reactions from the Chargers players and some of the staff just regarding how New England's defensive setups, that they couldn't pick up the coverages. They didn't know what the heck they were playing at them. Carey, you can get mad as you want. No. This is words from players.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous that's the problem. Because that pass protection for Justin Herbert was putrid. Like there's no way you don't know who's blitzing and where they're blitzing from. Like they were getting after them, but it was very simple.
Player.
It was
Those
very
are
simple.
NFL coaches and players talking.
They need to
it.
hire somebody else.
I'm just saying.
There are a handful.
Their head coach is a former quarterback who should be able to help pick up that stuff.
He should as well.
There are a handful of videos showing the Chargers offensive linemen not blocking anybody. I mean, all season long, they didn't know where to go. Yeah. They would run into each other. I mean, it's just a comedy of errors.
Okay.
It's bad.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it was bad on. To me, that was more of a Charger issue than what the Patriots.
Well, either way,
the Patriots don't have a great pass rush at all.
It was the Chargers were lost in space. Literally, they were running.
You think C.J. Stroud's going to do any better? The guy can barely hang on to the football.
This is true as well. But I think
it was wet that night.
What did you say, Anthony?
It really wasn't.
6-3?
Yes, sir.
They signed me up.
Right.
The Patriots 16-3. So I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one. I think that they'll find a way somehow to scratch out 10 points, and that's all they'll need.
Last
I'm
one, Rams.
The under either way.
Yeah, that's going to be should be a low-scoring game. Rams and Bears. I think the underlying storyline here is if you've seen some of the numbers on Matthew Stafford in the Colts, it's funny. I saw somebody tweet this out. Bears fans went from like not believing they can win the game to we're indestructible and Matthew Stafford can't win on the road in the Colts. If you go back to last year's Philadelphia game, the Eagles played very well in some pretty nasty conditions, but the numbers don't lie, and you look at, like, if the game feels 20 below, Stafford's got some ugly numbers.
Well, and then as per usual, I think this happens every year or every other year. Somebody tries this, but I just finished reading how the Bears players were upset because Ben Johnson's making them practice outside in the cold with no heaters.
Who was upset?
The players. Now they've come around to it. They said that now that's fine, and they understand why they're doing it. Obviously, Ben Johnson wants his team to be acclimated and ready to play in a tundra.
It's an advantage.
It's a huge advantage.
It's an advantage.
Guys,
you play in Chicago.
I'm talking about the soft-ass players. I'm not yelling at you.
You think you get engaged,
about those
you be a little
soft-ass
happier.
players. I am very happy.
You're on after parts later. Right, Anthony?
The players can be upset about practicing outside. That's an advantage. You got a team that's coming in from Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. It's going to be freezing when they get their butt out there. Yeah. We're ready.
Yeah, I give the Bears no love all year. I kept calling them smoke and mirrors. The bubble's going to burst. There's no way. I think the Bears win this one.
All they do is win, no matter what.
That's all they keep doing. And now Caleb Williams, he's playing, or at least looking like he's playing with the confidence of somebody that is maybe unstoppable. So
Yeah, for me, the storyline is I don't know that the weather is going to be – it's going to be cold. I think it's going to be – I looked at the weather in Chicago this week. I think it's going to be 6 degrees. And it might feel like, when it's 6 degrees, but it'll feel like weather is -8, -10. You're like, oh, my God.
And that's a real thing.
That is a real freaking thing.
Anybody that has dealt with the cold conditions and all that,
yeah, man.
like, it's 40. It feels like 18. There's a huge difference.
And let me tell you about getting hit in the cold. Like, Carey, you can talk about it more. I talk about it when I went over to Switzerland and played in that one rink. Our home rink had no walls in the back. So that cold air, we play 8 o'clock at night. That cold air came whistling in there from the Alps like you wouldn't believe.
Right.
And when you hit somebody, it feels like your body's going to shatter. Mm-hmm. So I can only imagine. Like,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
So right now, I'm looking at it. It's going to be 11 degrees in Chicago on Sunday with a high of 18. Right now, it's 22 degrees in Chicago, but it feels like -1.
Oh, man.
So I don't know what it's going to be come game time.
Cold.
But that will. Like and there's something about it. Like when you're in that environment, your body does get more accustomed to being cold. Like you're not as cold in comparison. Like right now, if I go to Chicago, I'm going to be bundled up. But when I was living in Champaign.
You came from Chicago.
Well, when I go now, that's what I'm saying. When I go, I'm bundled up, man. It's cold. But when I was playing in Illinois, Pittsburgh, I walk around with no shirt on at 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I'm a man. Not as much of a man now.
It certainly is a mental battle.
Yeah.
Like you get that first contact, and nobody loves it. But you can fake yourself into loving it.
Yeah.
Some people just can't fake it at all.
No. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Sports Six Pack Part 1 is coming up. So if you got a question for us, send it in to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Sports Six Pack Part 1 next.
The Johnny Londoff Chevrolet family has been providing the best automotive prices and award-winning service in St. Louis for close to 85 years. That's unbelievable. And their goal over there at Team Londoff is not just to sell you a car, but to make you a Londoff customer for life. And I can speak out of experience. It's been over 25 years I've been a customer. And my son this morning, over at the Londoff Autoplex, picking out a new truck for himself to drive as well. And Jim Saffo and his crew do a fantastic job out there as well. And that's right, 2 locations now. The original location in Florissant, Missouri, and the brand new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters, doing great stuff. And let's not forget here now, the Johnny Londoff Chevrolet team, they are a proud partner with Car Bravo in their pre-owned department. Car Bravo is a gold standard for pre-owned vehicles. Car Bravo vehicles undergo a rigorous inspection and certification process prior to any sale. And effective January 5th, 2026, Car Bravo vehicles include a 12-month, 12,000 miles bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. So Londoff family just making it even better for you out there to go buy a brand new or pre-owned vehicle. So again, get to either location as fast as you possibly can. Pick up a great vehicle. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you can't get there in person, please visit them online at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues pick up a victory last night over the Carolina Hurricanes, 3-0 the final. They'll go up against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Friday. And you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Part 1 of the Six-Pack is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for the Sports Six-Pack. Question 1, please.
Question number 1.
From the 636, how do you guys feel about Utah getting a Winter Classic? And is there a team that hasn't hosted one yet that should be next?
I think there are quite a few teams that haven't hosted one yet. Like Vancouver, I don't think they haven't hosted one yet, although they've got the Heritage Classic stuff. I don't know who the hell's had an outdoor game or not, quite honestly. But I think Utah is a fantastic venue. One, Ryan Smith and his wife, they're both co-owners of the Utah Mammoth. They're awesome. I had the privilege of hanging out with him last year in Utah. Down-to-earth dude, sitting there, jeans, hat on backwards, sweatshirt on, hoodie, just like he does whatever the team needs him to do. And he has spent, I don't even know how many millions of dollars improving that rink already. He raised the ice surface 8 or 9 feet. So now it's a little bit of a ramp to get up there. But now what that did is it took away, so there were people in the end zones, because it's a basketball stadium, we're not able to see certain parts of the ice the way the elevation was. Well, he fixed that, got engineers in there with all their scientific, mathematical stuff, and now people can see the ice. The dressing rooms are fantastic. The practice facility is out of this world. I'd never leave it. If I was a young single hockey player, I'd never leave the practice facility. They've got everything they want. They've got a chef that works there the full day. They've got a lounge with TVs, the internet. They've got these beautiful couches, great workout facility. They got a pool. They've got the hot tub. Whatever you want, they've got. So, yes, Utah is a great venue. I saw the football stadium they'll use, and in the background, you've got all the mountains and everything. The scenery is, mind-blowing. So I love the fact that Utah's going to get an outdoor game. And as far as a team that should get one, I don't know who hasn't gotten one yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that have played in one, Winter Classic, Stadium Series, whatnot. I don't know. I feel like they need to stay away from those southern states. The Winter Classic this year just did not feel the same in Miami.
I agree, because that was it was a open roof.
It looked dumb.
They tried.
They tried.
What they're doing is they're capitalizing on the best team in the NHL right now, and they're trying to do something unique. I'm never going to fault any league for trying something new. Give it a shot, man. See how it works. Yeah. We'll see how the Stadium Series game goes in Tampa. That could be a huge hit because it's a football stadium. Mm-hmm. It's not like a retractable roof. And maybe the NHL learned their lesson with that. Mm-hmm. And if so, great. But in the future, I think Utah, from what I heard from the owner, is that eventually the stadium they build is going to be a retractable roof. So that any Saturday night game that the Utah Mammoth have could be an outdoor game, basically.
Cool. Huh.
How neat would that be?
That'd be interesting.
That'd be pretty damn cool. I think, especially if the weather's nice. All things would have to work out properly, but we've seen the modern-day retractable roof doesn't take that long to open up anymore. So if it's a beautiful Saturday night in Utah and they're playing a divisional rival, open up that roof, baby. Let's go. Be kind of cool.
Question number 2.
Incoherent voice text says, I know that Buchnevich has not been scoring a lot this year, but each time I watch a game, the dude is all over the ice. Is there just something wrong with his approach or shot? Because it sure doesn't look like his effort is lacking.
Who's that?
Pavel Buchnevich. Is effort lacking?
I don't know if it's that. I don't know.
Bad luck?
No, I just don't know. Like, for me, it's really difficult in any sport for an outsider to try and figure out if an effort is lacking.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
You don't know what he's going
I
through.
I don't know what he's going. I don't know if he's trying hard, if he's just not good. Like, I don't know if he's hurt, if he's not. Like, what he's thinking. Is he thinking the wrong play and then it shows up, looks like lack of effort? So for me to judge not knowing what's going on in between the ears of said player, I can't deem it to be lack of effort.
Well, the question, the texter says it's not a lack of effort.
Oh.
They're asking if it's just an approach to like his shot. From their
just
eyes,
reverse what Jamie said and put it on the texter. Like, nobody knows if it's lack of effort.
Nobody truly.
Are you seeing anything with his shot?
His approach to his offensive game.
For me, Pavel Buchnevich isn't shooting the puck enough. He's always been this pass-first guy. Pavel Buchnevich is at his best when the puck is on his stick, off his stick. That's it, bottom line. No looking for a bigger, better opportunity. Just get it on the tape, fire it on that. Brett Hull, I'm not comparing any one player in today's game to Brett Hull. You just can't. But Brett Hull is famous for talking about the way he scored goals. And he literally said, I cut the net into 4 squares. And I fire at one of the squares.
Seems pretty obvious.
But
there's a body in the middle of
but
main
what
spot.
he was saying is, I fire for an area of the net. That's it. And you get the puck off quick. Because he was not the pioneer of the one-timer, but he certainly is the guy who shined a lot of light on the one-time. Mike Bossy was probably the pioneer of the one-time shot, and he also scored a lot of goals because goalies couldn't set for it. So my advice to Pavel Buchnevich would be pick an area of the net and get it on your stick, off your stick in that area of the net.
There you have it. Seems pretty simple. Good approach. Not easy, but
I mean, it worked for me. I scored 17 career goals.
Yeah, you did.
mean, you know?
Sports Six Pack
All game
continues
winners.
next on 101 ESPN. I don't think so.
I don't know. Looking at a big weekend here at the Rivers House. Already got the Zwickle Light chilling in the fridge. We'll put that on ice for Sunday for sure. Going to have some people over. Going to be a great weekend. And that Zwickle Light is just an awesome beer. Brewed here locally by Urban Chestnut, by local people. And that's the key. St. Louis people know what beer is. On this one, they nailed it. If you ever drank a low-calorie, low-carb beer before, which, by the way, Zwickle Light is only 95 calories, 3.7 carbs. There are other beers that are in that category, but they taste kind of watered down. You know, Carey doesn't like that. Neither do I. We like a beer that tastes like beer, and that's what Zwickle Light is. Again, but you're getting the benefits of only 95 calories, only 3.7 carbs. It really is an amazing beer for any occasion that's going on out there. They've got the cans and the bottles now, so whatever you prefer, Zwickle Light is taking great care of you. I've said it before, it's the unofficial beer of St. Louis hockey, but the official beer of the Rivers House, and it needs to be the official beer of your house as well. Go check it out right now. Buy them at your local establishments, including my friends over at Dirt Cheap. They're carrying Zwickle Light because they know how great it is as well. You can also visit urbanchestnut.com for more information regarding all of their beers and all of their events going on. You don't want to miss out on any of that. So remember, St. Louis, keep it light and keep it local.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
All right, time for part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marshall, question 3.
Question number 3.
All right, this one comes from the Water Boy. Next season, let's assume Sonny, Wilson, and Arenado all play when they return to Busch Stadium. Who is getting a standing ovation?
All of them.
I'm assuming all 3, but wanted to hear your thoughts.
All 3 will.
Gotta be all 3.
All 3 will.
None of them, like...
Did they play for the Cardinals?
Yes.
Yeah, and...
Then you get a standing ovation.
Correct.
Kind of a rule of thumb, you know?
Yeah, and let's not forget that Goldie and Arenado were exemplary players for the organization. They were. I mean, excellent defensively, finished first and third the one year in the MVP. Good people, good to the organization. Sonny Gray signed here as a free agent. Why? Because he wanted to be a Cardinal. Talked about what it meant for him to be a Cardinal. That's why he came here. Stayed another year, didn't waive his no trade because he wanted to stay in St. Louis. Ain't no way those guys aren't getting a standing ovation. They deserve it. They should.
Agreed.
Question number 4.
From the 636, can Marsh and Anthony explain why they are Vikings and Falcons fans?
Sure, I'll be quick. I watched when I was into football in grade school, obviously, but in '91, the Falcons were playing the Saints in a playoff game in New Orleans, and I had my first opportunity to watch Deion Sanders, first opportunity to watch Andre Rison, first opportunity to watch. Actually, no, Rison wasn't on that team. Michael Haynes was on that team. Chris Miller was on the team. Fell in love with Deion. I thought Deion was like the greatest thing I ever saw as a kid. So I stuck with the Falcons, even though he went to the 49ers and then eventually the Cowboys. But that's how I became a Falcon fan. Thought the uniforms were cool too.
By the way, they're switching uniforms.
I know, they're getting new
uniforms. I bet they're going back to,
Are they going to
the old ones.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that big ass ATL.
They will.
How will they know where they're from?
They play in Atlanta.
I don't know where I'm from.
I'm telling
Where
you,
I'm from.
what they should do is go with a big falcon on the chest, no number on the front. Numbers on the side, numbers on the back.
You've been wanting that for a long time.
First team that does it, you watch their sales.
No boy, they're gonna go. They're gonna go with the red. The thing that the uniform I don't want, I think it's dumb. Is the red helmet, red jersey, and gray pants? Like, just call yourself Georgia then. Like Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia. The Falcons should play second fiddle to Georgia. They shouldn't try to be Georgia.
Like the Falcons shouldn't play second fiddle to Georgia.
Well, Georgia's won more than the Falcons.
But no, Georgia just got to their national championship within the last 5 years.
It's Georgia.
They haven't been. And Georgia should be second fiddle to the Falcons.
That's what he said.
Falcons got to try.
No, he said the other way.
What?
Yeah, that's right. You weren't listening.
Georgia has a
winning pedigree.
Yes.
They just started winning. Within the last,
we just started
winning
watching
championships.
Bottom line is, do not have Georgia's uniforms. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
You let Georgia be you.
If you want to do the red helmet and the black jersey and the white pants,
do we have any indication of what the uniforms are going to look like?
It's all
it's
over
under
the
wraps.
place. Yeah.
Are there some ideas out there?
I think they're going to be orange and white.
I don't think so.
Would they do that?
Home Depot.
The Buccaneers tried that.
Home Depot.
Creamsicle.
Home Depot Falcons.
That'd be funny.
I like the gray pants though. The old black jersey. No. To me, that was
the silver pants.
Anthony hates it.
Yeah. I like
nostalgia.
Anthony absolutely hates it.
I don't hate it.
No, you did. You told us yesterday. Said if Carey ever says anything about that, I'm going to punch him right in the face.
It's got too many things going on. Red helmet, black jersey, silver pants. No.
Why you want to do that?
You were right there, Marshy.
And I would love to see like an
Don't
update.
act like you didn't hear it now.
I wasn't listening.
I would love to see an updated like version of the old logo.
I think that they're going to go. I think they're going to go back to the
old bird,
the dirty bird.
Jerseys.
Yeah, I like it. All right, go ahead, Marsh.
For me,
Anthony likes those birds.
Blue herons.
Sick ones. Yeah.
No, I don't like sick ones.
Large ones.
For me, I went to school at North Dakota. When the Rams left, I needed a new team. And the closest team was Minnesota, so I could root with all my friends. They just came off a terrible playoff loss with Blair Walsh missing a field goal. Oof. So I figured, well, this franchise seems to be in disarray. And I welcome that, considering we went 10-plus years being Rams fans. And Sam Bradford was the quarterback they brought in, so I was pretty comfortable having him as my QB. The team started off well, and then things went downhill. But then things got better, Anthony, as Case Keenum, another former Rams quarterback, took over. They went to the NFC Championship game. So it was just fun being in college, being able to root for a team with my friends as opposed to, like, rooting against them. Whereas there were multiple times throughout college where the Blues were taking on the Wild in the playoffs, and so those were fun. But it was nice rooting with my friends, and I've stuck with them ever since.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, we got to get to the Gauntlet, so let's do that next on 101 ESPN.
Accessorize your vehicle. There is no other place than Pure Performance. They are the best in the business, your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications. And look, your car is, your truck, your SUV, whatever it is, it's a huge investment, usually second only behind your home. You need to make sure that anyone that works on your vehicle treats it with the same respect and care that you do. You can trust my friends over at Pure Performance to do just that. The showroom, by the way, it's 25,000 square feet. It's located at 3725 Harry Truman Boulevard in St. Charles. It's right out. You take the Cave Springs exit. It's right there. You cannot miss it. It's a great facility. When you get there, though, please walk in, ask for Shelby, tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. She's going to ask you what you're trying to accomplish and what your budget is. And then that's when Pure Performance maximizes everything for you. They're going to give you the best possible value out there for what they're going to do to your vehicle. And the technicians are absolutely fantastic, best in the business. Only people I let accessorize my vehicle is my friends over at Pure Performance, and they will do the same for you. So please get by there, check things out, or visit them online. Website is pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, where it is 4:04. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Darian. What's up, Darian?
What's up, gentlemen?
We appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing the Gauntlet. Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
I'm going to tell you what, it's not every day you get to take on a Super Bowl champion, so I'm going to take on Carey Davis.
Carey Davis.
Good luck, Darian.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so CD's going to head to the Cone of Silence. Darren, you're going to tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marshy, go ahead and spin that wheel.
What are we hoping for, Darian?
Boy, I'd have to go football probably.
Whoa.
Well, that's what you're going to get.
Oh, did you mean it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you're going to get 4.
Watch me know none of them.
Well, no. Hey, man, you never know. Sometimes the questions are right in your wheelhouse. Sometimes they're not. But 4 questions nonetheless, all football related. Each one is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Which NFL team ended the regular season with the best point differential this season? The best point differential.
Oh. I'll take the options.
The New England Patriots, the Seattle Seahawks, or the Denver Broncos?
It's like Denver had a lot of close games. I'll take New England. Final answer.
All right, Darian, question 2. Which team ended the season with the longest active win streak, winning their last 9 games?
Oh, no. Why don't I know this? I'll take the options.
All right.
Please.
No problem. Was it the Seattle Seahawks, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Houston Texans?
Jacksonville Jaguars, final answer.
Question number 3. Name the only NFC team to not win a game in their division this year.
NFC team to not win a game in their division. Oh, I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals. Final answer.
All right, final question for you, Darian. Which team ended the season with the longest active losing streak, losing their last 9 games?
Damn. And I watch football every single week. Go ahead. I'll take the options.
The Kansas City Chiefs, the Arizona Cardinals, or the Indianapolis Colts?
Arizona Cardinals, final answer.
All right, let's bring back Carey from the Cone of Silence. Darren, how you feeling?
I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Wow. Come on, buddy.
Here.
Come on. We need better energy than that. Come on, man.
Well, he's telling you the truth. Okay?
I'm just trying to help here,
He's not
Anthony.
going to give you any. Darian's not going to give you any fake stuff.
I didn't want fake.
Yeah, sounds like you're asking.
I'm just trying to help.
Carey's back from the Cone of Silence.
Hey, fellas, how's it
What's
going?
up, CD?
What up?
What category do you want today?
Man, football.
Ooh.
All right, let's do football.
Bet. Really?
Category's football.
Bet.
Jamie?
Pack a lunch, buddy.
All right.
Question 1. Which NFL team ended the regular season with the best point differential?
Ooh.
That's a very good question, Anthony. I mean, it's got to be a team with a good offense and a very good defense. Texans, no. Broncos, I feel like are up there. Would the Rams be up there? Give me the options, please, Anthony.
The New England Patriots, the Seattle Seahawks, or the Denver Broncos?
Broncos were first on my mind. And then I thought Rams, and I don't know. So let's go with the Denver Broncos. Final answer.
Question 2. Which team ended the season with the longest active win streak, winning their last 9 games?
Jacksonville Jaguars. Final answer.
Question number 3. Name the only NFC team to not win a game in their division this year.
Would be the Cardinals in the NFC West. Would it be? Oh, the Saints won. Everybody won in that division. NFC North. Everyone won in that division. NFC East. I think everybody. Okay. Can I get a second to go through this? I'm on the Cardinals right now. Give me a second. AFC. Did the Browns win? Yes, I think they did. I don't remember who they beat, but I think they did. Might have been the Ravens. AFC West. Ooh. Oh, those pesky Raiders. So it's either going to be like the Raiders or the Cardinals or the Jets. And I don't have a solid answer. I don't think I'm missing anyone. Oh, shot clock, Carey. I know, Jamie.
I didn't say it yet, Carey.
Shut it.
Shot clock, Carey.
Oh. Give me the Raiders. Oh, that's going to bother me. Final answer.
Question number 4, Anthony.
Hope I heard that question correctly. I don't like how much you moved on.
Which team ended the season with the longest active losing streak, losing their last 9 games?
It was the Titans for the last one, wasn't it? Well, it's not the Titans for this one. Give me the options. I don't know.
Kansas City Chiefs, Arizona Cardinals, Indianapolis Colts.
How many games? Losing their last how many?
9.
Cardinals. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Darian versus Carey. Let's start with that last one. Which team ended the season with the longest active losing streak, losing their last 9 games? We just heard Carey say the Arizona Cardinals. Darian also said the Cardinals. Correct answer is
Arizona Cardinals.
Nice job, guys. Both of you needed the options, so we got a 1-1 tie. Which NFL team ended the regular season with the best point differential? Darian with the options went with the Patriots. Carey with the options went with the Broncos. Correct answer is?
Yeah, it's the Seattle Seahawks.
Split the difference. Seattle Seahawks is the correct answer. We get a 1-1 tie. Which team ended the season with the... Actually, you know what? Let's go to this. Let's go to the third one here. No, let's go with this one. Which team ended the season with the longest active win streak, winning their last 9 games? Carey, without the options, said the Jaguars. Darian, with the options, said the Jaguars. Correct answer is...
Jacksonville Jaguars did win a lot, but they did have a loss in there. Houston Texans.
Jaguars won 8 straight.
They won 8 straight.
Did they?
Texans won 9 straight.
Ah, that stinks.
So we're still tied up 1-1. It comes down to this.
Come on, man.
Name the only NFC team to not win a game in a division.
NFC team. Damn it, man. Damn it, man.
When you started going through the AFC, I looked at my question real quick.
I I knew I heard
Typically,
something
we
wrong.
go with shot clock, but I was like, well, hang on a second.
Yeah, let's let this play out.
Process it.
Gary's cooking. Let's let him cook.
Name the only NFC team to not win a game in their division this season. Carey said the Las Vegas Raiders, who, of course, are in the AFC. Then he said, wait, darn, it was the Titans, probably.
I didn't hear the
Titans, of course, are in the
AFC.
I hate this.
That doesn't mean Darian got it right, though.
Would you like another shot here, Carey?
It's too late
For
now.
funsies.
If you had a
For
shot.
funsies.
Sure.
If you had a choice.
I would probably, NFC team, I would say the Cardinals.
Darian went with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Darian.
You have chosen wisely.
Damn it.
Darian 3, Carey 1. Carey not listening, got him again.
Gary's got love on the brain.
Darian, congratulations, man. Nice job.
Good grief, Chuck.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.
You'll be back tomorrow to take on either Marsh, Jamie, or me, and we are going to send Carey to the penalty box.
Man,
Carry your
holy
thoughts.
cow.
I don't have any.
Guys, it was awesome. I've been this for a long time, man. It's great.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you,
See you
Darian.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll call you tomorrow.
I'll be here. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Uncle Sam, 1789, also brings up a good point. Raiders beat the Chiefs in Week 18.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Not that I'd be before people were watching that game, but still.
Does that make you feel better, Carey?
No, hell no. I got to listen, man. NFL or NFC. And I knew it as soon as I said Raiders. Marshy said, he did something.
Yeah.
His poker face is terrible. I knew I blew it based on Marsh's reaction. Like, oh, that was... He clearly wasn't listening. He don't know.
I think we've all had that moment, though.
Of course.
I hate it.
I've had several of those moments.
Man.
Several.
I got to listen more.
All right. Well, Carey, again, going to the penalty box.
See you.
Are the Blues' younger players actually speeding up the re-whatever? I thought we were out of the re-whatever.
Might be.
Now we're speeding it up?
Yeah.
All right. That's next on 101 ESPN. Blues coming off a 3-0 victory last night. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I thought we were out of the re-whatever. Jamie says we're still in it, and he's asking now, are the Blues' younger players actually speeding up the re-whatever? So, Jamie, the hell are you thinking?
Well, I'd like to think we're not in the re-whatever, but unfortunately the play this year, although there have been injuries, has made it feel like maybe you're not quite out of it yet. But if that's the case, if we look at the Blues roster, the young players, they're quickly becoming the star of the show. And I'm not talking about just the rookies, the younger players, your future core of players. Because you look at the veterans, I marked on here, like veteran players not named Justin Falk are having a pretty tough year. Mm-hmm. Bottom line. But when you look at the roster and the players right now, who are some of the names we're talking about the most? We're talking about Otto Stenberg, Dalibor Dvorsky, Jake Neighbors, even Tyler Tucker.
Hopefully Jimmy Snuggerud.
Jimmy Snuggerud scored a goal last night. Joel Hofer, his fourth shutout of the season.
Got my goal.
Not last night. No, Kessel.
Yeah, Matthew Kessel. I think he had a shot on net.
The hell is going on here?
Good job, Carey.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. But Joel Hofer, 4 shutouts, tied for the league lead with 4 shutouts. Mm-hmm. This is a lot of good young play. Broberg, who's now signed through. He's not just your future number 1 defenseman. I think he is your number 1 defenseman this year. Dylan Holloway. Like, these are all guys that are going to be your core moving forward. Are they your core right now? Some of them kind of feel like it. And Berggren, he looks like a damn player. I like that guy. So when you're evaluating this team, and you talk about a re-whatever, and you hope they'd be further along, I don't disagree. I think expectations were high this year. And I think sometimes expectations may have been blurred, even from a front office standpoint, for Doug Armstrong to even come on, these airwaves and talk about the re-whatever being over. But when you look, if you can squint and look ahead a year or even 2 years, it's a promising group of players. And I'm not I'm including Thomas and Kyrou in this group of young players. They'll be at the top end of the young-ish group. They'll be entering the tail end of their 20s. But still, that's supposed to be their prime at that point. 28 to 32 is probably your prime. Mm-hmm. Those guys will be in there. So I don't think it's as bleak as we feel right now. Because your team is not in a playoff spot. They haven't put together 3 wins in a row this year. There have been lots of reasons to be disappointed with the results of the games for the Blues.
Well, it's going to throw this out there. I thought Splashback Deuce in the Snake Pit has a good question. Doesn't that mean the re-whatever is over because they're here? It's built but not developed. I think that's a fair question.
I mean, that's a play on words. But yeah. But I
understand what he's saying.
I do too, but I'm also looking forward saying, what does this team look like in a year or two with Jiricek and Carbonneau added to it now? Mm-hmm. Like, those are 2 pretty solid players as well. And what Lindstein. So, yes, although I agree with Splashback to a certain degree, I still think they have the opportunity to be even better in 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. So as much as we don't like the current look of this team as far as the results are concerned, when the larger portion of your team moving forward is part of your young core that's going to be leading this group, I think that's a positive sign.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I think there are some positives to be gained. The problem, of course, is the results aren't there. Nope. And expectations aren't being met right now. So it's a little hard to say, hey, there's still a bright future here, even though both things can be true. You're underperforming right now as a team, yet the future still looks bright. But the challenge for Army and Steen is, how do you then fill in the missing pieces from, hey, man, we got a lot of good young pieces here, but we're still not contending? That's the question. And none of us can answer that right now.
Yeah, and maybe it's a point where internally they're looking at it going, you know what? This is not the season we wanted. We're not a contender. So why not start building towards what we can be as far as a contender in 2 or 3 years? Mm-hmm. Let's get on that train now. We thought we were on this one over here. we took the wrong train, took us in the wrong direction. Now we got to get on a different train and come back to where we started, which is back to the youth, and then move forward with that group. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the key here. And that's going to be the interesting part for the rest of the season, barring an epic run. Who knows? They're on a one-game winning streak right now. I mean, I don't know.
Is it a winning streak if it's one game?
No.
Sounds good, Carey.
It does sound good.
We're trying to build off of
this. The season has sucked, so yeah, we'll let it fly.
All right.
So again, you're on a one-game winning streak, and you're hoping you can generate something, but if you can't, then difficult and interesting decisions start to present themselves for Doug Armstrong and Alex Steen, because Justin Falk is probably a very wanted commodity at the trade deadline. Jiricek is a right-handed shot defenseman. Logan Mailloux, by the way, we haven't talked about this. The Blues extended him. I'm sure it's a very popular decision amongst the texters and the snake pit. But they were going to revisit Logan Mailloux for a second, because even my own girlfriend last night asked me, why would they what are they? I'm like, honey, she was a text line last night a little bit. And I said, honey, they have to give him a raise anyways. Every year to keep his rights, they have to give him, I think it's a 10% raise, so a little bump. And so that would have put him at like $75,000. So they gave him $25,000 more to retain his rights. It's
just the price of doing business.
It's just basically re-signing your own property.
Right.
It's not it's not a Broberg thing.
It's paperwork.
It's paperwork.
Yeah.
But he's a right-handed shot defenseman. So Justin Falk becomes a focal point if your team is not a contender, which they probably won't be, for other teams. So what can you get in return? And if you've got a good young core, maybe you're getting back an actual hockey player. Maybe it's actually a hockey trade for Army, or maybe he starts to restock the cupboards for the next wave of players, which would be a smart thing to do as well. Jordan Binnington. What do you do with Jordan Binnington? I've often been a huge advocate for just keeping him. Even if you flip the roles, where Hofer becomes your number one and Binnington's your backup, if you have a commodity that some people are going to want, and if it's a playoff team, and they look at Jordan Binnington coming off maybe a gold medal at the Olympics, maybe he's the star of the show again there. What do you get for him? Mm-hmm. Braden Shen, your captain. I'm not an advocate for trading a captain. I'm not. But if somebody overpays, do you make that deal? Because you're no longer thinking now. You have to think tomorrow with this team. But when you look at tomorrow and you see some of the things that they've got in place, it makes me feel better about what the Blues can be.
I like that. Carey, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. Good over here.
All right, why don't you get out of there?
All
It's
right,
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Prove Me Wrong is next. We do this on Wednesdays again. So send in your Prove Me Wrong sports statement that you want one of us, Carey, Jamie, or me, to have to argue against. Marsh is our judge in this. So prove me wrong. Send in those statements here. Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646. Auto Centers Nissan, I got some great sales going on right now, but as I've often said, I don't necessarily go to Auto Centers because of the sales. I go to Auto Centers because of the selection. I hate going online when you need a vehicle and you're price shopping and you're doing all that stuff and you're kind of making sure that you find the right vehicle, of course, for the right price. But you go to the dealership and you say, hey, I want to test drive the model that you had online. And they're like, well, nope, don't have that. What do you mean you don't have it? No, it's another lot. All right, great. Where's that? Georgia. No, not at Auto Centers Nissan. Auto Centers Nissan, when you shop online at AutoCentersNissan.com, they'll have the vehicle waiting for you in Herculaneum. They have over 1,000 new and used vehicles, in fact, at Auto Centers. And right now, during the triple zero sales event that they have going on, right now, select new Nissan models. You can get 0 down payment, 0% APR for 60 months, and 0 payments until summer. So there's your current deal. But going to Auto Centers Nissan It's about making sure that you've got the right selection for you. You find the right vehicle. Yes, you get the deal. But then, of course, every new Nissan comes with a 30-day return promise. So within 30 days, if you want to bring the vehicle back for whatever reason, they'll refund you your money back on that. On select used vehicles, they got 0 down and no payments for 3 months. And when you finance any new or used vehicle, you're protected with AutoCenter's walk-away finance protection. So shop online now confidently at AutoCentersNissan.com. When you do head to Herculaneum, tell them that Anthony Stalter from 101 ESPN sent you. It's AutoCenters Nissan, Herculaneum.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take down the Carolina Hurricanes last night by a final score of 3-0. They'll take on the red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning, winners of 11 in a row on Friday. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll talk with Joe Vitale in less than 30 minutes at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. But coming up next, we have Prove Me Wrong. So if you have a Prove Me Wrong statement you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll play Prove Me Wrong next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, you heard the big voice there. We're going to play Prove Me Wrong. This is where you send a statement into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Marshall will read it off. Either Carey, Jamie, or me will take on the case, and we'll have to try to prove it wrong in the eyes of our judge, Andrew Marsh. You guys ready to go?
Yep.
All right, Judge, take it away.
All right, from the 573, Prove Me Wrong. J.J. Weatherholt will be the Cardinals' opening day second baseman.
Not when you got third base open now because of Nolan Arenado being traded. So I think J.J. Weatherholt going over to third base makes a lot of sense, and you can keep Nolan Gorman at second base, where he probably will create less damage because I think J.J. Weatherholt has a better glove. Gorman at third base can be a little shaky.
And we're not sure of the status of Donnie Baseball yet either. A little premature to go making those decisions. We can assume all we want, but Judge, as you know, when it comes to the legal side of things, we can only operate on what is factual. And right now the facts are that Brendan Donovan is still on your roster. Therefore, he'd be your best choice at second base.
Very, very smart of the texter to present something that we all argued against earlier in the show. Well done.
I love the way you spun it, though.
Well done. Thank
moved
you.
him to third.
I appreciate it.
I thought you were going to go with the whole service time side of things.
Oh, you would have got mad then, Judge.
No, I wouldn't have, because I think that's what the Cardinals are actually going to do.
The other side didn't enter the into exhibit.
Yeah.
What do they call that?
Yeah, you have to enter
evidence. Evidence. Thank you. So they didn't present it on time. We didn't have time to look at it.
Look at it, then it's
that's on them.
Inadmissible.
Yep. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
All right, Grant Francis fan club wants to know, prove me wrong. For once, the Blues are probably better off missing the playoffs.
Look, you're never better off to miss the playoffs, especially, we just talked about all these young guys on the roster. Can you imagine what that would do for these young guys to make a run here, get into the playoffs? You're that much farther ahead of the game at that point. We can talk about draft picks all we want. You're littered with draft picks right now. This is the healthiest draft group you've had in a long time. Let's put them to work. Let's get them some experience. Why do you think Dalibor Dvorsky's here anyways? The Blues wanted him to get NHL minutes. Otto Stenberg, they wanted him not only in North America, which is why he came over to the American Hockey League, they wanted to give him NHL reps. Why is that important? Because the experience matters. You look at Jake Neighbors last year in the playoffs. How much did he love being in the Stanley Cup playoffs? It was a beautiful thing to see. And if the Blues can, and I'm not saying they will, but if they can get into the playoffs, the experience these guys get, whether it's 4 games, 5 games, 7 games, doesn't matter. They carry that into next year. And now that over half the team is these young group of core players we're talking about for the future, for me, that just expedites things.
Tell them about the money.
And the ownership definitely looks forward to playoff games. More people rolling through those gates, through the turnstiles, coming in,
buying those
sitting their
playoff
butts
t-shirts
in those seats. Playoff fingers, the shirts, the concessions are full. The beers are overflowing for playoff hockey. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me?
You want this team to keep spending
Come
up to the
on,
cap?
man.
Then
That's a great call,
need
too.
these playoff
For
games.
spending the cap, want to get those players you're talking about, better make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can I follow up with a question?
Oh, Your Honor, you're always allowed to follow up with the question.
What is the difference between what you just described, and maybe there is a difference, and I think there's a strong argument for it, a team that just gets into the playoffs and then they're out the first round, much like what the Steelers have been doing?
Well, you know, it's unfortunate that a team would get into the playoffs and be out in the first round, but everyone can't win. You know, only one team is going to raise that Stanley Cup at the end of the season, but there are, numerous teams that would love to be in the position of a playoff team. They're calling right now. They're calling those coaches that are in and saying, I wish I was in your position, and they're not. So if you're a team that is fortunate enough to make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, if you're fortunate enough to make it to the NFL playoffs, the college football, you name a playoff, you want to be in it. You don't want to be on the outside looking in. No matter when you win, when you lose, you're there because you got a chance. And like Lotto, you can't win if you don't play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what they say.
And let's go one step further. Wouldn't you like your young guys to get that playoff experience and not be Jeff Skinner? who spent 90% of his career so far not being in the playoffs, not even knowing what the hell it's all about?
That's a tough life, man.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Whether we win the Stanley Cup or not, I want my guys to wet the beak a little bit.
Man, nothing like getting that beak wet.
Yep. You know it, Carey.
I have to put my personal opinion to the side on this one.
Well done, Judge. Yeah, well done.
It's professional right there.
Yeah, total professional.
Total pro.
All right, we'll move on. 618, prove me wrong. The Broncos are the best team left in the playoffs.
I mean, we were...
I'm just kidding. No, tell us why not.
Okay. Are we doing
You
it?
want to answer?
No, yeah,
he does. Yeah.
Okay. No, I was like, hey, that was
best
easy.
team.
Just know it's baked in, guys.
Just
The Broncos have...
just know we have video evidence of the person actually committing the crime. So, but go ahead.
I mean, the Broncos got a huge test this weekend. This is the biggest challenge probably all season that they've had because it is the most important challenge. The Buffalo Bills, with the reigning MVP, are coming into your town, and they're locked and loaded. They're ready to roll. And the Buffalo Bills are a damn good football team with a damn good football player, and you'll be lucky to get out of that, which I don't think you will. So, being the best team left in the playoffs, I mean, come on. Are the Rams still in the playoffs?
Yes, sir.
Are the Seahawks still in the playoffs?
They are.
What about the Patriots and the Texans?
Yes.
Them too? Now, you got a bunch of teams, in my opinion, Judge, that I feel are better than the Denver Broncos, even though they're the number one seed. You know? And the regular season was awesome. But playoffs, that's a completely different animal. We were just talking about it. You get in, you get a chance to win. And the Buffalo Bills rolling into Denver this weekend. Good luck, Denver.
Like I said, it was baked in.
Yeah.
I think we end on this one. From the 618, prove me wrong. Cardinal fans care too much about how DeWitt spends his money.
Well, they should care, quite honestly. How can you ever care too much? Really, DeWitt is spending their money. That's what we've been told that before by the ownership group themselves. Basically, I believe BD3 giggled at the fact that, the people wouldn't come through the gate. And because he knows that the money that they're spending is actually the consumer's money, which is why it's important to get that 3 million fans. 3 million fans. How many times do we hear that crap? Why is that important, Anthony? Is it because they love to see people in the crowd?
No, sir.
Or they love the money?
They love that money.
They love that money. So don't worry about the DeWitts misspending their money. What they're doing is they're misspending your money.
It was a word salad.
It was. It was well done, though.
Man. Okay, I said this was the last one. I want to follow up. The 314, I want to follow up to a different prove me wrong statement that we had, and I think this is a great question. Why is it okay for the Steelers and Blues to simply make the playoffs, but last season it wouldn't be a good thing for the Cardinals to make the playoffs?
I never said that.
We all said make the playoffs.
Well, no. Mr. Dodger's here. He wanted him tanking 12 games in.
What? I didn't. I wanted them to win.
No, you didn't. You hated
every
it.
game.
You hated the idea.
They just didn't.
Remember, especially during the wild card race? You hated it.
It's hard to win every game, man. Especially in baseball. And in football. I mean, in basketball or in hockey. I mean, it's just hard to win every game. You know, it's not likely that it's going to happen.
New incriminating evidence.
I think we were
You
set
should
up.
have just stayed quiet. Bobby?
I would have been for the Cardinals making the playoffs.
Of course.
I said they should make the playoffs or be the worst team in baseball, but that doesn't even benefit you anymore.
I was arguing. Remember, people were saying, well, if they make the playoffs, then fans will just, the ownership group will continue to operate how they are. No, they weren't. They were changing no matter what. The front office was going to change no matter what. So it would have been fun to watch them.
Yeah, who doesn't want to watch
the
a winner?
playoffs?
So with the Blues,
not do anything.
We either want them to make the playoffs or be one of the worst teams in hockey.
I don't
ever want to.
If it's not that you don't want to make the playoffs. If you're going to be a bottom 3 team in your conference, do it well. Like, go out and do it well. Meaning, like, go lose some games.
I mean, they've done pretty good at that.
They've done good at that. But the problem...
Last night, though, they were bad at that.
They're bad at that.
They had a good game.
And it's still, unfortunately, in my opinion, for what it's worth, it's still too early for any one team to abandon their season. It just is. Maybe the Canucks should quit. But...
Dang.
But it's just not good for your team.
I don't know if fans feel like they should abandon the team as much as the team will just play bad for the rest of the season.
But just abandon like the whole thing. Just you can listen. In hockey, it's pretty easy to find out the teams that are tanking. They all of a sudden, guys that shouldn't play are playing. 7-year American Hockey League players are getting their first shot in the NHL. Like it's the answers are all around you.
I think the worst thing for the Blues though would to go on a similar run like they did last year, except for this time they don't make the playoffs, and then they're stuck in the muddy middle of the draft, and then you really don't get anything. You don't get a top pick, and you also don't make the playoffs to get said experience.
You know, it's all for who. It's your taste or my taste, right? For as far as like your opinion on that, because I don't see any value in all of these young players playing on a terrible team. I don't see any value. You're not, but hear me out. You're not building anything positive for them. You're going to go get that draft pick, but they're sitting there getting kicked in the teeth for the latter half of the season. It's not great. However, the flip side is as well. You can go get a hell of a player. You can, but you're not guaranteed the player that you want necessarily because there's a lottery.
But we've all wanted a superstar type player.
But there's no guarantee of that either.
Well, there's definitely not a guarantee when you're picking 16.
You want Nail Yakupov?
No, I don't think anybody does.
We already
You
had
want
him.
Jason Lafreniere?
No, thank you.
No.
That's what I'm saying. There's no guarantee.
Well,
and Gavin McKenna, people are touting him as the next one. He's him. Did you see him at the World Juniors?
I'd like to have Stenberg.
Stenberg might be good. Might be. You just don't know. There's still risk involved.
I think there's risk involved with missing the playoffs by, a couple points because you did not have a good team at the beginning of the season and you waited too long to get things going.
And that's your opinion.
Move the ball forward.
And that's your opinion. And it's fine. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just a different outlook.
I got Outlook on my computer. I use it for emails.
I don't do
and stuff.
very good with Outlook.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
That's surprising.
You're great, Jamie. That's the bottom line. Win or lose, has Curt Cignetti already accomplished the impossible? That's next on 101 ESPN. ESPN. Is there an argument to be made that win or lose Monday night in Miami, Curt Cignetti has already accomplished the impossible? Like, I'm not talking about him accomplishing what he set out to do, because obviously winning the national championship is now the goal. But when you think about one of the worst, if not the worst, programs in Division I college football history, fans having damn near zero expectations, 6 wins would be celebrated. Now, this is the Big Ten, mind you, not, and I love my MAC, but you win 6-7 games in the MAC, you're like, hey, man, really good season. Kind of the ceiling, yeah? It's the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You're a real football program with Indiana.
I mean, you're right there below the SEC. You expect a lot.
Right.
Indiana. I'm not taking the bait, you know. New year, new me. I never said I wasn't going to do it. I'm not going to take the football SEC Big Ten bait this year.
Anyways, it's not like fans didn't Hoosier fans hated football. They just emotionally opted out, right? Curt Cignetti has given them something that they have never had.
They are the losingest program in college football.
What?
In FBS. They have the most. Yeah, they have the most losses. They have 715.
I didn't know that.
They are the losingest program in FBS history. So
I thought they jumped out of the final spot with their season this year.
No, I mean,
still there.
Even if they did.
Yeah. Either way, best start.
Wake Forest was in that conference.
Best start in school history. First 10-win season ever. Big Ten title. Rose Bowl demolition of Alabama. Undefeated. Number 1 college football playoff favorite. National champions favorite. It's 40 years grinding through just not even 40. I mean, it's multiple decades of horrible football. Has Curt Cignetti already accomplished the impossible by making Indiana football relevant?
My apologies. The Wildcats from Northwestern did surpass them by 1 loss.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice job there, Mark.
7-16 to 7-15. I mean, it's hard for me to say no, he hasn't done what he's done is not, remarkable and record-setting and amazing but I just watching this team, I almost feel like the standard has changed. Right, I feel like the standard has become, you got to finish this thing off. It's almost like the Patriots going 19-1 or 18-1, whatever that record was. It's almost like the Warriors winning 72 games and then losing in the NBA Finals. Like the record didn't matter. What you've done up until this point, when you have shifted or changed the narrative on being one of the best teams in ever, like you got to finish it. Mm-hmm. And coupled with you're an 8.5-point favorite going into this game. Now, I don't think that matters anything to the Miami Hurricanes playing in Miami for a national championship. I don't think they give a damn about it. But you are the favorite. You have been the best team all season long. You have steamrolled everyone in your path to get to this point. I think you do have to finish it for it to be that legendary, remarkable type of season. And I get what you're saying because of where you came from, but I think the narrative over these past 2 seasons has shifted drastically for what Indiana has as their expectations now. You know what, Carey? This reminds me of a documentary I saw. And there was it was a boxer. And, never in a million years would he have ever thought that he could get a heavyweight championship title bout? Heck, he was boxing in the basement of churches at one point. Wow. And it was punching raw meat in a freezer at one point. And then he gets drinking raw eggs, too. Raw eggs, holes in his sweatshirt, all these things. Yeah. And nobody expected him to do anything because he's from nowhere. Kind of like Indiana. Who expected this? Whatever. They're nobody. They're one of the worst programs in the history of the game. Yeah. But then, Carey, on one magical night, he took the heavyweight champ the distance, and nobody ever forgot about it. I don't think Indiana has to win this in order to be remembered for a really long time, or what Curt Cignetti has been able to do with this program. I don't think it's insignificant. I think it's a big moment for them. Just like that boxer. Yeah. I do want to clarify something because Lee's famous foot rubs says, dang, the two programs with the most losses come from the Big Ten. The SEC, it just means more. I will let you know, Lee's foot rubs, famous foot rubs, the top two most winningest programs come from the Big Ten as well.
Who's counting?
Wish you the best. Means more mine.
They've been around longer.
High floor, low ceiling?
It is what it is, buddy.
No.
Yeah.
High ceiling, low floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Best of the best and the worst of the worst. I don't know what to say.
Average that out, it's middle.
Nah.
Jeez.
Jamie, not today. Not today day. You hear me? Thank you.
I don't know. I think win or lose, that guy has
Win or lose, we drink the booze,
Indiana.
Anthony.
That's right.
Yep.
He's put Indiana on the map.
Drink the booze.
Joe Vitale will join us next. Another guy that probably falls in that philosophy. Joe Vitale next. Talk a little Blues hockey with him on 101 ESPN.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
talking everything St. Louis Blues as we head into the Blues booth on 101 ESPN. Presented by Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. Find your perfect new floor at boardwalkhardwood.com.
5:03, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by our guy, Joe Vitale, alongside Chris Kerber on most of the calls here in the Blues Radio Network. What's up, Joe?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
We're doing great, especially after the 3-0 victory last night. So, Joe, after the game, Jim Montgomery said, I thought tonight was the smartest game we've played as far as playing as a simple but a very effective game. Making them turn, being really reliant on our forecheck and playing fast. And I thought the little details and habits within our game, block shots, net front blockouts, were the best they've been all year. I feel like Monty has been wanting to see this out of his group. We know it can be repeatable, but what would prevent the Blues from playing that simple of a game and getting this thing back on track?
The only thing really is they get bored. You know, I mean, it's a boring style. Mm-hmm. It's a really boring style of game, you know, and most players, if they had to choose a way to win a game, it wouldn't be that style. You know, you look at the way the Panthers play. Let's look at even the Carolina Hurricanes to some degree. The San Jose Sharks are a perfect example. The Colorado Avalanche. It's a freewheeling, it's a high up-tempo, creative style. Come over the blue line, curl up, look for a fun play, and win games 6-3. You know, and I think what was very clear about last night was that this is not a I am going to outscore you type of team right now. The Blues cannot, for the most part, outscore an opponent simply from where the injuries have been, and you lose Robert Thomas last night. So they know that if we're going to win games, it's not by outscoring the opponent. It's going to be about being really, really patient. And I thought it was a perfect example of what that patient style is, because you continue to lob the puck back and you just let them make the errors. You know, I said with Curbs last night, it'd be the equivalent of if I play a tennis great like Pete Sampras. You know, me and him one-on-one, my serve's not going to beat his serve. My power's not going to beat his power. The only chance I have to even get a point probably is just to keep lobbing it back over the net and hope he makes a mistake. And that, to some degree, is what patient hockey is about, where you just keep advancing the puck, keep forechecking, keep things to the outside, wait. And eventually you're hoping that the other team, the opponent, gets a little impatient, which we saw last night in the second period. The Blues took advantage.
Joe, if we looked at a pie chart to start the season, a majority of the pie chart would show veteran players being the biggest contributors to this team. We've seen a lot of young guys here now throughout the season, and we're seeing it right now. How do you think that pie chart looks like now as far as the youth contributing more than they have before? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a catch-22, where there's some good, there's some bad. And, you know, obviously the glaring one is that, you know, players like Jordan Kyrou's point production is so low compared to the last few years. When you're concerned about even players like Robert Thomas to some degree, Pavel Buchnevich, another player where, you know, you look at his point totals over the last few seasons, the way they kind of slowly but steadily are dropping. And now he's having another tougher year. So those are concerning. At the same time, you applaud and appreciate what the young players are doing. You know, I'm looking at an Otto Stenberg who continues to take a step each and every game in noticeable and unnoticeable areas of the game. You know, responsibility, you know, killing penalties. Dalibor Dvorsky gets on the board last night. Jimmy Snuggerud gets on the board last night. You're starting to see young players take full advantage of the opportunity. And you got to give Jim Montgomery and the coaching staff credit, because there was phases at the beginning of the year where, boy, you're just not seeing it. But we all know it's just a patient game. These kids are young, and they're going to learn a little bit each and every day. And we're starting to see some of that come to fruition. So when this group gets even healthier, which hopefully is going to be sooner rather than later, I mean, you know, Jamie, we're looking at a situation where Otto Stenberg does not come out of the lineup. There's no chance. Dalibor Dvorsky stays. You know Snuggerud's in. You know, as you get healthier with some bodies back, with Robert Thomas, Dylan Holloway, you know, those veteran players on that bottom end, those Matthew Joseph types, you know, those are the ones that have got to prove that I can be so much better than a young guy, because if it's anywhere close, I mean, you're kind of turning the corner in the season where you're giving those young guys as much opportunity as possible, especially when they're playing as good as they are right now.
Joe, you talked about Jimmy Snuggerud and him scoring a goal last night. He's got 18 shots on goal in the last 4 games. Just the sheer volume, you expect one of them to eventually go in. He's seeming to get the memo from the staff that we need people to shoot the puck.
Well, exactly, and that's his greatest gift. You know, I talked to him there in Las Vegas right before the game. He was warming up, and at that time, Carey, on that road trip 2 games in, I think he had 19 or 22 attempts, one of the two there, attempts at the net, right, just throwing them there. And so it was very visible on that road trip. You knew at some point he was going to get one. And, you know, I asked him before the game, I said, man, you're shooting a lot of pucks right now. What's going on? And, you know, Jimmy is not a too complicated kid. He's very simple. He just simply looked at me and said, I just want to score more goals. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, that pretty much says it all.
Joe Vitale joining us right now in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Joe, I know that, we're all looking for certain positives to say, hey, here's tangible evidence that the Blues can get back on track here. One of them has to be these young players. What else are you seeing that you could say, okay, if they could just do more of this, then maybe they can get on a bit of a roll here?
Oh, easy. Power play. You know, just get that power play cooking a little bit better. You know, I mean, guys, that's the difference between, you know, sometimes being in a playoff spot and not. You know, I mean, listen, you're still within striking distance, as scary as it sounds. You know, what are you 6-7 points off, depending on how these next couple games go over the next couple days. And yeah, that's a few wins, right? I mean, you look at the overtime losses and the shootout losses they've had this year. I mean, those little points add up to big points. You know, and not so much as much this year, but for the most part, you're talking about 1 to 2 goal games throughout the board. You know, and if your power play, you know, can get a goal here, chip in a couple there, you know, like last night, special teams made a big impact in the game. You get a shorthanded and you get a power play 1. You know, that's the difference right there of 2 points and not getting 2 points. You know, there was moments on that last road trip where I'm looking at a Chicago game that was an embarrassing loss, but you're still in the first period. It's a tied game. You get a power play. You have an opportunity to go ahead. Right, you're looking at a Utah game 2 days later where you had the early lead and you had a moment to actually extend the lead and you didn't. Right, those types of power play goals can really make or break some different games. And you know, maybe they make up 8, 10, 12 more points this year. Well, guys, that's the difference right now, being in and out. So you saw a good power play last night. It's starting to kind of click in a little bit different of a way. They're starting to throw more rubber there. If you can get that power play going, Stalter, you're going to be in a good spot.
Joey, goaltending situation here. Joel Hofer gets his 4th shutout of the season, which puts him right up the top of the leaderboard in the NHL. You know, what are we seeing from both of these guys here recently? And, you know, is it a situation where we hear the words goaltender controversy?
No, I don't think so. You know, I don't think so. I think that they're very content, you know, going back and forth, Jamie, on this one. You know, I think rightfully so. You got to give a little bit of a nudge right now to Joel Hofer, just for where he's at this point in the season. You know, I think he's been a little bit more steady than Jordan Binnington has. I think both goalies have seen not so great defense in front of them, so that's certainly an issue there where it doesn't fall on them. You know, I like Joel Hofer's game right now. I like the way he's playing the puck. He seems extremely steady. He seems focused. He seems like he's a goaltender that, guys, I mean, he's looking at, you know, Jordan Binnington's going to be playing a lot of hockey here pretty soon. You know, I think that he's kind of taking ownership of this next little stretch of games because, you know, they're not going to be riding Jordan all that much. You know, we're looking at the goaltender that could be the starting and the guy there, of course, in Milan for the Olympics for Team Canada. And trust me, all the pressure's on Canada. So all that being said, I think Joel's looking at this as an opportunity where they're going to try to slide Jordan a little bit of rest here and there, and, you know, Joel's taking full advantage. So fun to watch. Again, playing the puck and just really taking away the forecheck of the Carolina Hurricanes last night. It continues to be an impressive thing. He's got more puck touches back there than any goaltender in the National Hockey League right now. So that in itself is worthy of continuing to push him. And I think he is going to get the majority of the games here down this stretch before the Olympic break.
Joey, I'm looking at Colton Parayko's stats, and obviously no goals this year. He's on pace for the lowest points he's had in his career other than the 2021 season. What do you make of what's going on with Colton at this point right now?
Well, Carey, I mean, it's just they started the year. I think everyone was excited about the offensive numbers and where they can be, especially after where they left last year. Not only with Colton's 16 goals, but, you know, Cam Fowler's numbers were through the roof. So everyone was pumped about it. And they came in with a little bit different of a back end there with a lot of the younger guys on that bottom pair. And defensively, they couldn't defend. I mean, everything was going in. So they had to make just a mental shift. They just made that mental switch where they're not going to be thinking as much offense. They're going to be more concerned now on the defensive side. So that's where I think a lot of the numbers really got kind of frozen or stunned at the beginning of the year, a couple weeks in, where you're looking at all these goal totals going in, and Jim Montgomery pretty much rallied this group and said, hey, listen, we're not going to win any of the games this year if we can't defend and keep the puck out of the net. So I think for Colton, Carey, I think it's just a simple matter of he just had to kind of make a mental shift. He had to switch away from the offensive side of things. He really needed to kind of focus on the back end. And that's why you're starting to see some of the numbers really slide as this season continues to go on. You know, you love to see him chug his legs more. You love to see him jump up in the ice more like we saw yesterday. You'd love to see him shoot more. I think sometimes at the point his feet aren't really set to actually receive a one-timer. He's in a position to receive a pass where, man, you look at Justin Falk, that's been the biggest difference between Falk and Colton, is that when that puck comes back to the point, off the wall, on a rim, direct pass, whatever it is, I mean, Justin's feet are just set to shoot the puck. So I think that Colton, if he could do that a little bit more, he may manufacture a little bit more chances and maybe even some assists or goals from the point. But those are the two things that really jump out.
Joey, good stuff, man. We appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll check back next week.
It sounds good, boys. Have a great week.
You too. Thank you. That's Joe Vitale, former NHLer. Obviously, you listen to him right here on the Blues Radio Network alongside Chris Kerber on game nights. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. So going back to a conversation we had before, we're picking Carey's brain about the decision for Mike Tomlin to step away from the Steelers. We never got to what I think is a really interesting juxtaposition between two organizations that find themselves on the same spot. One locally here in the Cardinals, and Carey's former team, the Steelers. That's next on 101 ESPN.
It is playoff time. That's right. The NFL's got the playoffs in full tilt. So college football's got the national championship coming up. There's no better place to bet than Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, whether you're betting on the championship or conference, futures, sides, totals, or prop bets for every round, or player props for that matter. There's no better way to do it than with your Circa Sports app all the way through January. You're going to love all of the odds that you're getting over there. Circa Sports got high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. We talk about the futures bets. They got great lines on all of the futures, tight money line splits on a nightly basis. No matter what it is that you're into, football, hockey, basketball, you name it, they've got you covered over there. And they like to celebrate their winners. They don't cut you off or limit you or penalize you for winning. No, they celebrate your wins, because that's what Circa Sports loves, is when people are winning. So get to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download the Circa Sports app. It is the white app. Just click on that and you will be ready to go. So again, download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fastline on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So we're talking earlier about the Mike Tomlin's decision to step away from Pittsburgh. And as I was thinking about the Steelers making this decision, or Tomlin and the Steelers coming to this decision, I couldn't help but think about the similarities between the Steelers and the Cardinals. And granted, the Steelers have had more success, certainly recently, than the Cardinals, even though the Steelers continue to make the playoffs and lose in the playoffs. Like they were still making the playoffs consistently, and in a much tougher division, certainly, than what the Cardinals face here in St. Louis. But I wanted to ask you guys this. Do you think there's a price to pay for stability?
In what way? So
the Steelers have had stability under Mike Tomlin. Mm-hmm. The problem is because they didn't make the bold move for the quarterback. In large part because they wanted to not give up first round picks or maybe allocate a bunch of cap space to a QB. They've kind of said, hey, we'll continue to just do what we're doing. We're not going to make any bold moves. We're going to keep this thing on the tracks. Mike Tomlin's going to continue to get us into the playoffs, and once we get to the playoffs, we'll still do our thing. We'll win on defense. And because they didn't make that big brash move, they avoided risk, but they also avoided the potential payoff of a risk. Cardinals, and again, it's not apples to apples because the Cardinals didn't make the playoffs the last 3 seasons. But it feels to me that the Cardinals avoided some of those big, bold moves because they didn't want to ruin their stability either. Mm-hmm. So both teams have pretty much been in they've been competitive, but they haven't been in contention. And I think that's a huge difference. When you're contending, man, you're making big moves, but they've been competitive. Right. And I think we're now seeing both things end now.
I do think that the stability has cost them in terms of, like you said, the draft picks. Like, because you're so stable and always in contention. I remember there was a video, Mike Tomlin was talking to Chase Young, his rookie year. Chase Young was rookie of the year for Washington, and he was on the sideline joking with him like, I'll never be able to get a player of your caliber in the first round because I'll never be able to draft that high. Chase Young was the 2nd overall pick. Right. And he's basically saying, we'll never be bad enough because it's slotted based on your winning. Like, if you win a lot of games, you draft later. You lose a lot of games, you draft higher. So he's basically, yes, the stability because of Mike Tomlin has cost them in that regard. They've never, I don't know the last time the Steelers drafted above 10, single digits. Like, it's been a long time that I can remember where you're getting a draft pick, especially with Mike Tomlin, that you're in the top 10. That is your own draft pick. Now, in trades and all of that, maybe they've had one, but I don't think they have.
I don't think they've gone that high.
Ben was
12,
but that was Ben was I think Ben was 12. But it's been so long in my memory that they've drafted, high in the draft because they're always in contention for a playoff berth. And the expectation is you make the playoffs, you're going to win the Super Bowl. So you got the answer?
10 Devin Bush in 2019. So they selected linebacker Devin Bush 10. The last time they were in single digits, you have to go all the way back to, wow, I'm still scrolling. Holy smokes. I am to 2005 now. Still holding. Okay. Plaxico Burress. 2000. Thank you, Marshy. 2000, Plaxico Burress. He was the 8th overall pick.
Yeah. You're not. Wow. You're not. That's 26. You said 2000?
2000.
26 years.
Good math.
Since the last time you've had a top 10 pick inside the top, the single digit pick. Right. It's hard to win. And it's not hard to win, but if you're looking for a quarterback, which they have been looking for the last, I don't know, I feel like since 2021 at least the last 5 seasons. I don't know. I don't remember when Ben retired, but I do know his last 2 years, he was banged up. So you add that on to the last couple of years of that. So it's been a minute since they've had the opportunity to have that quarterback that you can draft and develop and have him in your organization and build on that. It's difficult, but that's the stability that you got from having a Mike Tomlin. So I do think that there is somewhat of a cost, especially in the NFL, of you're not bad enough to get a high enough draft pick, but you haven't been good enough to actually win it all. Mm-hmm. And that's the level of frustration that I think a lot of fans in Pittsburgh have had over the past, I don't know, 8 to 9 years.
And again, going back to the similarities, we heard that a lot here in St. Louis. We've all talked about it. People are like, well, hey, they draft so late. What do you want them to do? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've drafted late, and in baseball, it's not like you can go up like you can in football. But still, there hasn't been the big risky move that could blow up in your face and it can cost you big time, such as, for example, like bringing in Bryce Harper and spending all that money on him. Let's just cast aside whether or not Harper would have been interested in all that, but the Cardinals were never going to commit that sort of money to that sort of player. But that is a big move that could have potentially put you over the top. Same thing with the Steelers. You're 19, you're 18, you're 17, you're 20, you're 21, you're 15. At some point, you could have done what the Rams did, package multiple first-round picks, go all the way up, and get your quarterback of the future. But the Steelers have always said, nah, too bold, we're good, we'll just continue to winning the way we are. After a while, though, just like we got here in St. Louis, we're like, you're not really contending.
Yeah.
You're just playing the game of just keeping the game moving, like keeping the game going.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because for every professional team, the goal is to win, mm-hmm. and for every professional coach, you win or you get fired. And although Mike Tomlin now stepping away after 18 or 19 years, I believe is what it was, his whole thing was to win. Mm-hmm. Even if he finished 9-8, 500, right above 500, he never had a losing season. So although that screws things up overall to where you don't get the high picks or the flashy quarterback and all that, as a coach, you're paid to win games. So it's a massive conflict unless ownership says to you flat out, sits you down, we're going to give you 4-year extension tomorrow. But we're looking at building here. Mm-hmm. We don't want to lose, but we're not going to be signing anybody this offseason. What you got is what you're looking at.
Sure.
And we're going to make a play for a quarterback. We need a quarterback. This year will suck, but then hopefully the year after and that we start building again. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how many ownership groups do that. Sit down with the coach and reassure them that their job is safe, let alone give them an extension at that point. So the coach, his job is just keep winning. And by winning, he puts you in the muddy middle.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't know.
You're in quarterback purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
The only way out of that, by the way, is doing what I did or doing what I said or lose. Yeah. That's it. That's the only way. It's only two ways out of it.
The stability for the organization in itself has been amazing, right? Even you talked about 2000 with Plaxico Burress being the 8th overall pick. I went back to 1989. That's the last time until then where they had the 7th overall pick. Like they don't draft inside of the top 10 ever.
That's disgusting.
That's crazy.
You're absolutely
You got
disgusting.
organizations that are drafting top 10 picks every other year.
Yep.
And this is an organization that since 1989 has 2 guys. Then I stopped scrolling because what the hell, man?
Yeah. At this point,
going back from 1986, 2026, they got 3 guys that they've drafted inside of the top 10.
Wow. That's remarkable.
That is stability.
Yep.
And a number of Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers still on that list.
Sure.
TJ Watt, 30th overall. Cam Hayward, 31. You're still getting guys that are going to be Hall of Famers, even though they're not inside the top 10 draft pick. So,
but
you got to win championships.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Or playoff games. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN, and that's no shot. It's just it's the truth. I mean, the Steelers under Mike Tomlin, remarkable success in the regular season, but the lack of first-round playoff success, lack of any sort of playoff success under Tomlin recently has just been too much. Certainly for a fan base that wanted to start over, and they're going to get their wish, but good luck replacing that guy. All right, bet the board next on 101 ESPN. We're going to meet with Stu in a couple of days here, Jamie. I always love meeting with him because when it comes to just kind of establishing what he's all about, you get that energy and that vibe from him right away. So you start talking to him and you realize, man, this guy is locked in on what the Federal Reserve is doing. He's locked in on what the job reports are saying. He's locked in on how to save us money. And I don't need to know what the Federal Reserve is doing. I don't need to know where the job reports are going with. I just need to know Stewie because he's on top of all this stuff. So when it comes to debt consolidation or refi, buying a home, Stewie makes it so convenient and so easy, and I love working with the man.
Just give him a call or shoot him a text. He is the best in the business, like Anthony just said. I don't even bother researching things anymore because I've got Stewie. I give Stewie a call. He's going to help you out. And, if whatever questions you have for him, he's going to have answers. If he doesn't have answers, he's going to go find them out for you. And he's always trying to, whether it's shorten your loan term, lower your payments, debt consolidation, all of that stuff. He's right there for you, but you got to call him. Don't wait. Call him or text him at 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
Give him a call, shoot him a text, day, night, weekend. Anthony, anytime is Stewie time. That's what we always say around here anyways.
That's definitely.
If you can't remember that, what can you do?
You can always Google the bag alone.
NMLS number 226715.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take down the Carolina Hurricanes last night by a final score of 3-0. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Friday. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You'll hear Joe Vitale. You just heard him on the Fast Lane, of course. And if you missed that interview, though, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have Bet the Board coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Marshy, how did we do last night, kid?
Well, last night, you and Jamie did pretty well. Carey and I did not. So our latest standings are Jamie with 6 points, Anthony with 4 points, Carey with 3, and I have 2.
Boy, you are rolling, Jamie. Nice job, man.
All right. Didn't really like the money line on a lot of games tonight in the NHL, but I do like the over in the first period between the Sabres and Flyers. It's at 1.5. Give me the over at minus 130. You don't like that, Marshy?
Marshy, you seem disgusted.
I do like it. I'm mad that you chose that.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm going to take Vanderbilt minus 2.5 on the alt line at Texas tonight. Vanderbilt minus 2.5 on the alt line at Texas tonight in college hoops.
What's the odds on that, Anthony?
Minus 143.
Gotta watch him, Carey.
Yeah, you do. Be careful.
Especially when he starts alt-lining it.
Yeah.
Come on, I got your alt line right here.
No, I don't want to look at it.
Okay.
I'm going to
available for you.
I'm going to take Tyrese Maxey over 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
All right.
Minus 109.
All right, I'm looking at the Vegas Golden Knights and LA Kings game tonight. Jack Eichel, he had 7 shots on net against the San Jose Sharks a couple of nights ago. He's gotten 4 shots, at least 4 shots in the last 3 games. So I hope that continues. It probably won't. Jack Eichel, 4+ shots on goal tonight against the LA Kings. That's at plus 145.
Wow. All righty.
Well, that'll do it for Bet the Board.
Look at this.
Dante Moore, right before our show started, said he's going back to Oregon. He will not declare for the NFL draft.
To make more money in college.
Probably.
Yep.
His tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, is off to the NFL, though. He'll be a first-round pick. But as Marsh noted, and I'd forgotten this, Dylan Raiola,
a.k.a. Mini Patrick
Mahomes, transferred from Nebraska to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that hopefully he didn't sign up for any classes, register for school.
Yeah,
because he's going to have to transfer again.
Even if he did sign up.
If he's enrolled in school, I think it's a wrap.
It would suck for him.
So I don't know when Oregon starts class. I don't know if he can. I mean, I'm sure you can enroll and unenroll, or I don't know. This is a weird landscape in how things are going. I don't know why Dylan Raiola would make that decision before Dante Moore declared. But Dante Moore did actually sit behind Dylan Gabriel for a year. So it might be a little bit awkward for Dylan Raiola to do that, seeing that he's been a starter at Nebraska. Right. But I have no clue how this is going to play out. I've heard, and I was telling you all, prior to the show, how many coaches I've spoken to, agents I've spoken to. Like, this is one of the craziest times that they can ever remember. I had an agent tell me, man, if I got to do this every year, I don't know if I'm going to do it.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's so much going on in this period after, the season ends with, transfer portal opening and NIL numbers through the roof for these young men, which a tip of the cap, man. If you can go get paid that amount of money, do it every damn time. Have some integrity when you tell you're going to go somewhere. But then also, hell, the teams need to have some integrity too. I'm sure Oregon told them, hey, he ain't coming back. Come on. Oh, he's coming back. Sorry
about it.
So, you get mad at players for kind of jumping around and bouncing around, but you got to remember that everyone is doing what's in their best interest. And you kind of got to live life that way. It's a little lawless right now, watching how all of this unfolds for college football, but that's the landscape, man. And you gotta play the game the way that it's being played, and it's being played on all sides.
Got to roll with it.
Yeah.
All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We will wrap up the show next with a little what we learned, 3 starts of the day, maybe a criticism, compliment or two. That's all next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 ESPN Dobbs Star Notice Center's mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out whatever you learned today. Carey, you have honors your first time back.
I learned that the Steelers have only drafted in the top 10 3 times in 40 years. That is amazing. That's kind of crazy. What the hell, man?
Unbelievable. Kind of sick when you think about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Jamie, what'd you learn today?
I was about to say the same thing as Carey. I was just saying I learned that Steelers have been very good to somewhat good for a really long time now. But I also learned that unless you're very good, being somewhat good may hurt you.
Yes, absolutely. Well said, Jamie. Well said. Marsh, what'd you learn?
I learned, and this goes back to last night, but I learned that if you just play a simple brand of hockey, it's a crazy concept, but you actually might win the game.
How about that?
Yeah.
It's boring.
Simple brand, a little boring, but boring suits the Blues.
Winning is fun.
right
It's
now.
not boring, though.
The team is boring, but if they're going to be boring, you might as well win the game.
Yeah, very true. Might be a boring brand of hockey, but it suits this Blues team that's on a one-game winning streak.
According to Jamie Rivers.
Jamie noted earlier.
Am I wrong?
I think that's
You are
possible.
not wrong. The thing that I learned today is that the Northwestern Wildcats historically are the worst team in Division I college football, surpassing Indiana.
Yep.
2 Big Ten teams.
Also,
Yes.
2 Big Ten teams have the most college football victories. In fact,
If we were to average that out, Carey, where would that
5 of
put
the
them?
top 10 most winningest programs, programs
No, the Big Ten is programs.
are
SEC
in the
is
Big
programs.
Ten.
Oh, dang.
Now when you're talking about winning, Jamie.
Salt in the wound.
5 of the most winningest programs
I'm happy for you, Carey. I'm sure Illinois is one of them. What?
We're on our way.
I was just being
We're on our
happy for
way.
you.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
You know how Carey pumps up the Big Ten, and there's other people, whatever conference their favorite team is in, they always pump up the SEC or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, that's weird because we're not sitting here saying, man, look how good the National League Central is.
Look at that Central
no.
Division.
We're rooting for the Central Division.
I agree, Marsh.
Why would you root for your rival team?
I used to get in fights with, not fights, but arguments with people in college all the time over that. Like, why are you rooting for the conference? You hate this team 10 plus weeks of the year.
Yeah, Carey.
Hey, what are you rooting for the conference for? You hate them.
Because it speaks volumes to what you got going on. Maction, Exhibit A.
Wow, that's a slight.
Whoa.
You know what? That's a slight. Wow, I can't believe you went there.
He says Maction every week.
Yeah, but I can't believe you went there.
He speaks
like
about
that.
it. He speaks about it.
I'm not rooting for anybody.
He speaks about Maction. Yeah, you are.
No, he just makes us aware.
My point about Maction is that no Big Ten or SEC program is playing on a Tuesday night.
Because you guys got it monopolized.
You know how difficult that is to win on Tuesday night?
Or Wednesday.
In November or a Wednesday. Thank you, Jamie.
Because you guys monopolized
They
it.
don't have the huevos rancheros to play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday in the middle of nowhere. Probably Ohio.
Probably Ohio.
And win a game.
314 brings up a great point. Winningest because they played Indiana and Northwestern all those years.
Oh, dang.
Maybe. Maybe.
2 baked-in wins.
Somebody also said if you average out the top teams in the Big Ten, the bottom teams in the Big Ten, you end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last 20 years.
The most winningest program in all of football? Sounds like it to me.
I didn't say it.
I mean, there's only one other organization that got 6 championships. Probably ain't your team, buddy. You know what I mean? Pal.
Jamie's team?
Nah, the Texans team
has 6.
No, the Texans team.
My God.
Yeah, chances of them being a
They could be a
Patriots or a Steelers fan is, they probably root for the Miami Dolphins.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you know why.
What's wrong with the Dolphins?
Warm weather?
Yeah, ain't been good since Finkel and Einhorn.
It's true, actually. It's true.
It's not far off. Not far off. When you're not wrong, you're not wrong, Carey.
You know what I mean?
It's absolutely right. I mean, no.
Been a while.
Yeah.
Nope.
Did they play that Super Bowl at home?
They did.
That always
they did.
bothered me.
Yeah.
No, because don't you remember they delivered Snowflake just in time for
Just
the
in
halftime
time
show?
for the halftime show, yeah.
Yep.
Why, but like,
Why, the
We're all talking
Hurricanes?
about like the Rams were the first team to play the first
the
home
Dolphins.
Super Bowl,
Oh,
or
the
the Bucks.
Buccaneers
The
were,
Bucks
yeah.
were, excuse me, in COVID. But it was actually the Dolphins.
Yeah. And now you got Miami U playing the national championship in Miami.
How about that? Yeah, following the steps of the Dolphins.
Oh, maybe they have Snowflake at the halftime show.
that would be interesting. Or white ibis.
White ibis.
White ibis.
Well, that's their mascot.
White Iverson.
Yes.
Although he looks like a duck. It's
No,
fine.
ibis.
Ibis.
Oh, I thought you said White Iverson.
No.
What?
No. Who is the White Iverson?
That's,
Is
what's his
that,
name?
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
No.
Rapper.
I was thinking of a
No,
basketball. I was
White
thinking of a
chocolate.
basketball player.
Who's that
White
guy?
chocolate. Jason,
Remember that
was
guy?
it Jason Williams?
Jason Williams.
Yeah.
He could ball.
He could really
He
ball.
could really. You know, him and Randy Moss were teammates in high school.
Yeah, they were. I wouldn't want to play him in the schoolyard. You would get embarrassed.
Probably.
Yeah.
He could hoop.
White chocolate.
That's what he called himself.
I know.
It is.
Yeah. No, I'm just reflecting.
It's chocolate, but it's white.
White. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm not a fan of white chocolate.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
That's a
I don't.
shame.
I do not like
I
white
do.
chocolate. No.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's a little surprising.
I like my chocolate dark.
As you should.
It's tasty, man.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day, presented by Circus Sports. No bet fees ever with the world's largest sports book. Now at your fingertips in Illinois and Missouri.
Darker the better, too. Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
I don't like it too dark.
Yeah.
I love
The
dark
taste
chocolate.
changes when it gets too dark.
Love dark chocolate.
Oh, good.
You ever had a Milky Way dark? Oh, or midnight or whatever it's called? It's awesome.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, yeah.
You made it up.
I did not.
I
Go
think
ahead,
you
Marsh.
did.
Okay.
Milky Way Midnight? You made it up. I'm looking.
That's a real thing.
Best candy bar in
Yeah,
Don't
not too
start.
far.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's a little bit far.
Our third star of the day goes out to one-game winning streaks.
One game winning streak. Not a thing.
Better than zero. Let's go, baby.
0. Well, this person was going to be our first star of the day, but I had to make some changes because of
man.
some slander in this segment. Carey Davis is our second star of the day. Big decision over the weekend.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you.
But that slander has led to a particular conference being the number one star of the day. You don't slander the MAC.
Thank you, Mark.
Maction.
Thank you.
Number one
Well
star
done.
of the day.
Well done. We haven't had
Last
Maction.
second.
Yes.
It's a last second change.
Marsh, well done.
Carey was
Anthony
going to be
hasn't
number
had
one.
Maction in weeks.
It's all good.
No, I haven't. Been about a month and a half or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time to go
missed
without
that
any
Maction.
Maction.
Darn right, man.
Yeah, man. That makes some would say that's too
Nice
long.
Tuesday or Wednesday Maction.
It's gonna,
It's been a while.
Next
It's been a
year?
while. Yeah.
Next football season?
Yes.
You gotta wait that long for some more Maction?
Do you ever just pull up like games on the internet and have Maction all by yourself?
That's right next to day baseball for Anthony.
You still talking football? You know, Jamie, they got a lot of good videos.
They certainly do.
From Maction.
You can watch them in slow motion, too.
Oh, man.
Relive some of the best moments.
You should.
Yeah.
For sure. You
Yeah.
may not get them back.
Never know. Well, no, there'll be Maction again, right?
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
One day. All righty.
They'll do it for us. Here in the Fast Lane. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Everybody have a great night. See you.